when I'm in need. Yes, she's a trifling friend indeed. Oh, she's a gold digger and way over town, but that digs on me.
Ladies, jerks, chat.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. Greetings.
All right.
Oh,
Let's
man,
get
I thought I lost
started
sound for a
here.
second.
Pearl, you ready?
Yes, I'm straight
Okay.
up. Straight up first on. Okay, call back to the last show. Apparently there was an email from our favourite unseen three healers, Empress Nero, whatever the hell her bloody name is this week, complaining about us talking about her. For illustration purposes, I threw together a few screenshots. By no means is this an indication of just how much shit there is out there. This is just a tiny little snapshot. So I think that Lolita's doing the whole sort of putting stuff on screen. So if you'd like to do the first one.
With pleasure.
This is essentially the problem. Unseen, you just don't get it. One of the reasons that the Dolly rumour was mentioned in the last episode was to show you exactly the consequences, that even how threatened you felt by a topic on a small channel that is new, that has less than 1,000 subscribers. And I've seen you going round in other chats complaining about how victimised you are. Mentioning the Dolly rumour, that you were the person who started saying that something should be pinned on Dolly, and connecting it with the fact that everything is blown up for Dolly is precisely the point. Do you see how rumours get out of control? Do you see that you might have part to play in that? I don't know whether you're deluded or manipulative, because
Both.
you lie for sport, you lie for fun. You don't seem to have any concern for the possible consequences of what you do. I mean, if we go on to the next sort of screenshot. Right, this is just a few examples of things that you've said. Now, you seem to be trying to make it all about Ziggy, as if we're some rah-rah channel for Ziggy. This is all about Ziggy and the dog photo ops. It's not. This is about lots of things that you have said about many different creators. I mean, and this example here, yes, it starts with the photo ops. But then you go on to say, oh, Ziggy's people aren't getting their stuff, talking about the things that she sells. I'm sorry, where's the humour in that? Unless you mean the humour of you enjoying dropping somebody in the shit with a lie, I don't see where the comedy is. Then you go on about Don B. Oh, something vague that you've heard, but you're managing to put it in the chat of a channel with like thousands of subscribers. Something about him shoving a body down a sewer. Well, that is a real rib tickler, isn't it? Then there's the infamous Dolly one. We should pin something on Dolly. You just don't get it. Underneath that is the second screenshot that I tried to get from this chat. I missed the first one. The first one was you saying that Betty Washam was the person who'd had an affair with Josh. You just blurt this out as if there are no consequences to anything that you say. Then here, you're saying that you think the grab is Kelly Zimmer. On the basis of, you really, really just do not get it. On the bottom, you're labelling a whole channel of subs bigots. Let me tell you, I know for a fact there are more parents of trans children in Ziggy's subs than there are in Six Ups. But you are willing to write them all off as bigots just because you've decided that that's what they are.
Gee, I wonder why she's saying
Well
character.
Even more than these screenshots, you've kicked off with the Glera over his use of a word that you took as a slight to you, He hasn't got a single fucking clue what your health situation is. He was using it as a technical term. Purple banned you. She actually specifically said, I was going to get the sound clip, but I didn't have time because I had things going on. Purple actually said to her mods, unseen, if you see her come in, block her. Then the next time that you came in, she had you up on the panel. She asked you to come up. She summoned you like a dog, and you went up. And she said, I have seen you talking about me in other chats. And again, you just write it off as, it's just my sense of humour. I don't really know what's going on. I just say things in the chat. You're a woman, I think, in your 40s. You look like you're in your 40s, so please don't be offended if you're not.
Well,
But you were old enough to act like an adult and take some responsibility for what you say. You can't just go into chats with thousands of subs and say these things and not think that there are consequences. This, for example, just to show that the dolly screenshot was in Chasing's chat. That is a busy chat.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go to the next one. You try to pretend that we're hounding you and that this is a big issue for you. And then on the other hand, you've got this. Oh, I give zero fucks. What do they expect? Oh, I'm going to capitalise. Which is it? Are we hounding you and you're a victim, this tin pot new little channel? Or are you capitalising? You can't seem to make your mind up. You sent
Doesn't
an
make
apology.
sense.
Can you put the next one up? You sent an apology to Ziggy. That's very good. Ziggy's nothing to do with us, but I'm glad that you apologised to her because God knows you could have made Summer's vigil into an absolute shit show with the photo op thing. And in fact, I know that she was very worried about going down because people were taking it seriously. And you've been told now that people believed it. So you can't say that you don't know. You apologise. You emailed us and said that you want everything put to bed. And then lo and behold, a couple of days later, here you are in White Rabbit's chat with another lie. Oh, yes, so I printed flyers. What on earth is wrong with you?
Oh
If
my
you
God.
wanted to stop, then stop. This is only a conversation because you keep doing things that are so dumb. We can't not mention them. Specifically when you're going around saying that you're being hounded by us. Why apologise if you're just going to carry on the behaviour? It makes no sense.
I think she's really upset that we keep pointing out the fibs, the pranks, let's just say the lies.
She
She
tries
How
to
really
dare we
does not
point
want
those
to be
out?
held to account for anything.
Right.
No.
She would just like to carry on doing what she's doing and
And
nobody notice.
Yeah, let's go back to this first one here. What does that say? Empress Nero, formerly 3 Healers, at 6 Up Media Live. Did you get my email about the bidding war for photos with Athena?
Wow.
Really? Bidding
Wow.
war.
Yes, because selling them wasn't bad enough. She had to put a cherry on the top.
Bidding war.
And then she goes on this YouTube tour to anybody's panel that'll have her own. And she'll continue to talk about how, yes, she's made these jokes, but she was just kidding. People don't get my sense of humor. Then she'll send emails apologizing. And then you'll see her in somebody's chat doing the same thing again. Woman,
Repeating the behavior. We don't believe an apology when the behavior continues.
so you're not allowed in
Can I
those
comment
chat.
on the Kelly Zimmer comment?
Yeah.
I don't have a huge amount of respect for Kelly Zimmer because I disagreed with the whole going on to just the receipts as a psychologist and
Right.
diagnosing people from a distance. But I do know she's a 2-time cancer survivor who has not been around and I presume is ill again. And you were quite happy to blurt out her name in one of the biggest shit shows that's been going on recently, the grab the lab situation. And you're just putting her name out there as the person behind the Grab channel.
Yep.
An older woman who was already been seriously ill and who is currently not online, so I presume is seriously ill again. And you were just happy to throw it out there. Didn't give it a second thought.
Nope.
I don't understand you. I really, really don't. Anyway, if you want to carry on, this is what you need to do so that everybody can see it when you go in the chat. Your clown license. Send me your email address. I'll post it to you.
Okay.
Failing that,
What the hell?
failing that, I recommend that you take your own advice. I've got a sound clip for you. Listen to your own voice. Take it on board.
Let's do that. Yes. Sound clips. I love them.
If you don't like what's being said, then move along. If you don't like what's being said, then move along.
So there you go. If you don't like what we're saying, move along. If you don't like what's happening to you, stop the behaviour. If you want to carry on, make sure everybody sees your clown license before you open your mouth in the chat. And most of all, please, please, please don't make me have to drag you again. You really are not interesting enough for me to spend this much time talking about you. So
But
just
she
stop.
does it so well. God, she does it so well. I love it, Pearl.
And now I'm going to have a cup of tea.
Now that
You
is the
deserve it.
definition
I say
of
tea,
unbothered,
obviously I mean
okay?
brandy.
You see
Come
why
on,
I
girls.
love Pearl? And everything she said, I mean, she couldn't be more clear. The receipts were shown. It's been laid out. Unseen, you most definitely are not welcome to type in this chat. You can lurk. Nobody can stop that. But careful, every time you do this, you will get called out. And you will not be able, well, you will. But when you go run to other panels and talk about they're bullying me, they're harassing me, they're stalking me, you'll get clowned again. Okay?
No lies dropped in this chat, though. You're not welcome to do that.
No, she loves it. She absolutely loves it. I mean, why else would she be doing this shit?
She loves it. She loves to, I think she likes to throw rocks and hide her hands, but she's not good at hiding her hands.
Mhm.
She gets caught every time. And it's almost like a social experiment for her to see what she can actually get stirred up, what rumors she can start, and see what everybody does.
Mhm.
And
It's
if you're
enjoyment.
trying to get publicity for your channel, it's not a good way to go about it when we keep pointing out how you're lying.
Yeah,
That
she's
doesn't
not a
make
credible
your
source.
channel real credible. So stop it.
And to be honest, and I'm not saying this to sound mean or rude. Oh, yes, I am.
Of course not.
Yeah. Unseen, I don't, and this is going to sound, I don't think people really like you. I think they tolerate you. And that's because of your behavior, that they don't like you and they only tolerate you.
No, they tolerate her because they can't afford to be shushing away freaking potential subscribers.
No, this
They'll
has
take
nothing to
anything.
do with Ziggy.
Yeah.
This is about unseen, unheard, unknowing, whatever 80 names she's going to go by. And
the
she'll
hell is
probably
Dragon
come
Ziggy
up
in
with
that video?
another name after this, y'all. Y'all want to bet?
Unhinged.
Unhinged.
Yeah, I'm sure she's probably working.
That one
on
would
it
be
already.
appropriate.
I'm
Because
just really
everybody
sick
knows.
of it being made to be about one thing involving Ziggy. It's not about that at all. It's about a consistent form of behaviour that actually mentions many creators. So don't cop out and say, oh, it's because they're offended because I said something about Ziggy.
Yeah, that's
Bullshit.
become the low-hanging fruit. That has been the most attainable fruit for everybody to grab at. I know a lot of people mod and or certified. I seen certified's name and subscribe to other channels. They're not held to that. So that's just not going to work. I mean, you can try it, but it ain't going to work. This isn't.
It's their comfort blanket. It's a
Yeah.
comfort blanket for them to say, "Oh yeah, well, they're Ziggy's people." What the hell is that? I'm not. Ziggy's not my mom.
Not
We're
at all.
everybody's people. We're everywhere.
So I like Justin. Okay. I like cracking cases. I like lip lock no more. If I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry. So I go in their chat. Does that mean I'm them? Let's use some common sense, y'all. And I ain't talking about the people that's chatting right now, but I mean, come on. It's just enough with that. But go
I
on.
love Magpie's comment.
Yep, I'm just pulling that one up.
Exactly.
Right, Magpie. She will. And as speaking of lying, may I, ladies?
Oh, please do.
Okay.
Please.
So let me get a drink. Give me just a second.
Yeah, okay, while you're doing that, I just want to
Is she going for brandy, whiskey? What is it?
all of the
Jack
above.
Daniels.
Can we throw some hearts up for Lip Lock? She lost her father-in-law.
And we are very sorry for that, Lip Lock. We've been thinking about you.
We love you.
Yeah, we love you. We're thinking about you, praying for you.
And
Yeah, we
Bob.
do, Lip Lock. There's a lot of love for you over here.
Oh yeah.
She's like the mom of YouTube.
She is.
I like that she's a straight shooter.
Mm-hmm.
I can always appreciate that in somebody.
Oh no, if you're a straight shooter, you're a bully. Don't you know?
Well, exactly. And that seems to be the only term that a lot of people in this, I'll stop saying sector, seems like community, only know. Okay.
Yeah, we're classy over here. It's a community.
Yeah, you can't say sector. Well, speaking of lies, Purple, you're going to get your shining moment for a few minutes here. And not just you, but your buddies too. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my
Sassy.
gosh, I got stuff to say about that too.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Sassy. We allowed you in here last week. We were kind to you. You typed in the chat. Everything was fine. I asked you a couple of questions. You answered. You got to hang out. Yeah, you see that pulled up there, Sassy? How many days ago, y'all, did we do that live? Was it Monday?
I think it was Monday. Yeah,
Yeah,
Monday.
It took
Today
you.
is only Thursday.
Yeah.
All this came out of Wednesday night's chat.
Yeah, and this
Yes.
morning. Now, Sassy, I am sorry for your loss. I really am. I can't imagine what you're going through right now. But what that doesn't, and I do mean that, but what that doesn't give you the excuse to do is run over and just lie. Okay? You went over. You see the screenshots here. You
I did
said that-
misspeak. This was all out of this morning's chat. I apologize.
Right. Yeah, because she'd been
Oh, I
missing.
thought it was last night.
No, it was actually this morning. Yeah, because she'd been missing.
Oh, okay.
It's hard to keep up with Purple and her lives.
I'm an insomniac. I don't.
Right. So you have fallen into the trap of Heidi, Purple, and many others. The old victim. Somebody could say boo to you, and you would run back and you would say, they attacked me and they bullied me. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to do better than this right here. And this right here is just flat out lies. And then Purple. Oh, wait, no, I'm going to save you for last. What's that one that sounds like a dolphin? Morgan. Morgan, I was going to leave
This
you
one?
alone.
Peaches.
Peach. I was going to leave you alone. Because, you're a kid to me. And you really haven't done nothing. But when you threaten,
Well,
go ahead.
she
Go ahead.
got pretty involved in really hysterically clowning on somebody's photo.
Oh yeah, that's right. And we'll get into that. That's a great segue here in a minute.
Mhm.
Yeah. So Morgan, or whatever, Peaches. When you are listening to Sassy and you don't have a clue what's going on, like you don't have a clue on how to put on your makeup, about the same thing. and you talk about striking our channel, now see, we got a problem. I was going to leave you alone, girl. But when you say that you know how to strike channels because you've dealt with bullying since you were 16, no, baby. Our live will stay up, our channel will stay up, and there won't be nothing you'll do about it because we haven't done anything to break terms of service. I'm so sorry. Unlike your friend Poonce over there who has Poonce, show the screen, show the email of why YouTube, if they really are. Now I'm starting to wonder if they're really taking down your channel. I want you to show the email from YouTube. Because I got a feeling, yeah, Tabby striked you. You struck her. Strikes for strikes for strikes. But that's not the only reason YouTube took you down. Or maybe taking you down. I don't know, you liar. Also, Heidi.
Oh my God.
God almighty. Woman. You're an idiot. I'm just going to say it. I don't care. That's not bullying. You're an idiot. When you are constantly, you're another one. Anybody says something to you, you need to listen to yourself back. They're bullying me for months. They're pecking on me. They're making fun of me. Do you think that's okay? You really need to listen to yourself. You sound crazy. And Purple, you claim that you don't watch our channel. Yes, you do. Hey, Purple.
Hey, Purple.
Hi.
Yeah, but all of 20 minutes. Well, funny to me, it took you 20 minutes to what? What'd you figure out, Purple? Not much if you're claiming that we're a bully channel. You just don't have the words. You don't know what else to say. So bully sounds good.
We
Hate
figured out we're not a clip channel, so there's that.
Right. You're just all over there a bunch of clowns to me. And I will say whatever I want to say on this channel anytime I want, as long as it's not you, whatever. I ain't got to go into it. I'll say whatever I want. We all will. And that little game that you're trying to play, calling everybody a bully, they're pecking on me. You have tainted all of Purple's people. Even Tony, who's asleep half the time, claimed that she knew what was going on over here. And yeah, they made
scripts.
Morgan.
Did you know we have scripts?
Yeah, oh yeah, that too. And the government.
Oh, we do?
What did she say about the government? After she claimed something about us, she went right into the government defrauding people. She don't know. But oh God, I lost my train of thought.
They
Oh,
actually
no.
said that we use
you
script.
said that we made you
Did
cry.
you just pull a Tony?
Yes, talking about Tony. Oh my God. Sassy, you said that we made you cry. Okay, here's my final point for right now. If this makes you cry, me asking you a question kindly, if that makes you cry, yes, you are correct, ma'am, in what you said today. Maybe YouTube isn't for you. It just ain't for some, okay?
But we made her cry. But she could go over in that chat and say all that stuff and talk about somebody else. But
Which
we
is
made
so
her cry.
ironic. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
They talk about us, which we've never done. We've never put up a screenshot making fun of somebody's looks. We've made little memes on how you behave, not your looks. But you'll do that to Tabby. Also, I heard, I haven't saw it yet. I don't lie. But you done that to somebody else today.
Not her.
While crying about what we do over here.
She didn't.
Okay.
No. But she wasn't. Sassy was not involved in. Are we still on Sassy or are we on Peaches? I'm confused.
Oh, I was back to Sassy. She said that we made her cry.
Sassy wasn't involved in that clowning on a photo.
No, she wasn't. But she chat of things that are really like disgusting happening.
Right. She said
Right.
talking about somebody that was sick and deciding why they were sick or why they might visit a doctor, which is inappropriate. But she wasn't clowning on a photo. I didn't see that.
No.
I just want to keep it correct.
No, we're correct. Yeah.
Who was clowning on a photo? I must have missed that part. Was that from today as well?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it was purple and
Peaches and Tony. Purple was showing the photo
Yes.
and getting their
Oh, I think I
reaction.
did see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was Bacard
Yeah.
Mama.
Yeah.
No, well, yeah,
Yeah, it was.
but it was somebody else too.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a different photo of somebody else. Also,
Yeah.
that's where they really lost their manners, I guess.
Yeah, talking about us. No, I don't have manners all the time, and I don't care. What do y'all talk? Yeah, that's another thing they said about. Yeah, they don't have manners over there. Did we come over here claiming to have manners? Well, do you see the name of of our channel name? Are you okay? Yes, I saw that. I saw that. Lip lock no more.
Nate, we
Frank-
don't have manners, but she farts on a live stream. Like what?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Purple, I've had to at the Ritz twice, and my manners seem sufficient for them. So I'm sorry they don't meet your Iowa Cornfield standards.
But yeah,
I can't get over the idea that they think that we script this when we barely managed to get into this, get into Screen Lab before we come on. The longest time that I've spent on any sort of preparation for this was putting Unseen's face on a clown license.
Right.
that was it. Yeah.
And grabbing some screenshots, and the rest was just off the top of my head. I'm sorry that you're so witless that you can't think up a good comeback. And if somebody can, you think that they've obviously sat down and scripted it. But that's your
it.
problem, not mine.
That is it, Pearl. You hit the nail on the head. They're very witless. They come up with this just you're a bully, you're a hater.
That's
it's a
okay,
hate
lip
channel.
lock. Just don't eat it.
Oh, and can I also say,
Sorry.
I gather that from out of her back pocket, Purple pulled this whole. She'd got an email or a text or something from Tabby saying that we were attack dogs for Tabby. First of all, if that was
Whoa.
actually true, you'd have led your program, your show with that. You wouldn't have thought about it later and suddenly created it from thin air.
Just
You'd have
make
been
stuff
in there
up.
like Flynn. You would have been starting with that, no bother. So I don't believe a word of that. But just on the off chance that there is the slightest element of truth to it, we're nobody's attack dogs.
Nope.
Tabby has got herself involved in more shit than a shitty stick. I mean, she really does. But I will say there's no comparison between somebody coming out with the wild accusation that your husband might be involved in a family firm that sells sprinklers, compared to you offloading the abuse history of a woman, her husband, the brother-in-law, and more importantly, the children. Yes, they're of age now, but do you think it's not traumatic to be a grown woman and have somebody that you've never met, you have no idea of, digging out your abuse history?
That was
It
gross.
doesn't matter that you didn't list every
What,
detail.
what about their
Just the
That
fact
crossed
that you
the
talked about
line.
it.
what about their children or grandchildren?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
kids were
What about
supposed
all
to be
that?
off
You don't-
limits.
Yeah, you just didn't care. You didn't
You
care that
lose
it
your
put her
shit.
in at risk. You didn't care because you were pissed off.
You genuinely think that a little sort of blurred bit of forehead of your child,
That
an
wasn't your
accusation
son,
that
but
your
was
husband might sell
actually your
sprinklers,
daughter, taken in 2015.
it's just you're not even comparing two things of the same
Such a liar.
order of magnitude at all. You just don't get it.
That is so true, Pearl. They tried to do these comparisons, and they're nothing of the same at all. And then she'll say they love over here. God, if I hear that's going real life, is that not going real life? If you don't get another word besides that, damn it.
All right,
but-
Tony, that doesn't give you a free pass to be an asshole. All right,
No,
I'm
it
sorry
doesn't.
it happened, but they're too stupid to realize. Like we don't bulldog for anybody. Okay, Tabby did horrible shit to a lot of people. Didn't affect me, so why would I go for Tabby?
Can I address Tony for a minute?
Please
Tony,
do.
a couple of weeks ago, you had a South African accent on tape that you were playing with people listening to it that you said was my voice. I
South
come from the
Africa.
centre of England. The nearest I've been to South Africa is eating a banana. I don't have a South African accent. And more importantly, not only do I not have a South African accent, but you were suggesting that this voice that was me was somebody who had used your dead child's photograph and their name in order to troll you. I've lost a
sick.
child. I lost my firstborn child. I would never do that to my worst enemy. You had no evidence, but you jump on it because it suits your narrative. You're so
Whatever-
obsessed with the
whatever
idea.
happened
All
about
of you, I
that
don't even know who
was-
Lonely 15 is, except that I hear the fucking name everywhere.
Oh my God,
But
I
I tell you
know.
now, I am not Lonely 15.
It's Heidi.
If I want to troll you, I will troll you. The name will be Pearl. I wouldn't use your child's picture. I
God,
certainly wouldn't
no.
use a dead child's picture.
No.
I know the pain of being a bereaved mother. Anybody who does that is lower than scum.
It's not funny.
No.
It's not
No,
funny.
that's definitely not funny.
Do not make allegations that you cannot back up. You could have recorded my voice, played it next to this other voice. Unless you're totally deaf, you could hear that the accents are nothing the same. My voice was much deeper, even disregarding the accents. So get a grip.
Please.
I know that you're hurt. I know this person's done a terrible thing. You can't
Now-
just randomly pluck names from the air, and because they live on the same continent, they must be that person. We're a small country, but we've got a lot of people in it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and another thing, Tony, if you're still in here, you did something else that was so ridiculous. I think it was just last week we actually asked you about it. We came in your chat and asked you about this email that you claimed that you got from us, and you actually corrected yourself. Okay, you said you were wrong. Okay, so that was it. We left.
No, we didn't leave. We were blocked.
Yeah, there you go. We were blocked.
But
we
Tony,
just-
you're allowed to stay here and talk if you want.
Yeah, nobody's
don't do
blocking
that.
you. Yeah. And then I think it was yesterday, day before, I can't remember. You told Unseen, good Lord, to message you that you had got another email from us and you would show it to her. Which is it, Tony? Which is it? We never emailed you. We don't know you. We have no reason to email you. There is nothing to talk about to you, with you, about you.
But if you talk about us and it's not true, we're going to talk about it.
And not feel bad at all. I promise.
So if you're
No, you can bet your ass on that.
If you're confused, then maybe don't talk about us until you're unconfused.
And you can come in here and ask, and we will answer you. Our mods, unlike you all, will not knock you over the head with a wrench. So get it together. You don't have an excuse because you can talk in here.
And you accused Justin of being involved in scamming with Shorty? You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and say, "Oh, I thought that." Or I
Okay, but
think-
she believes everything. Go ahead.
She does. No, Harley, you're right. She does.
Everything Purple says, everything Heidi says, everything Sassy says. They
they
all just
wouldn't lie
believe
to
each
her.
other without
They
checking
would
this
just-
shit out.
Yeah, they wouldn't lie to her. They'll just lie to all of YouTube, but they wouldn't lie to her, huh? Give
No.
me a
Right.
flippin' break.
Let me make this clear. This channel, we'll talk about whatever we want in this community.
You think
Uh,
if
well-
if we lie, we're not going to get called out on it? We expect we would.
But we will cover
Rightfully.
whatever we want. It won't always be about Purple and them goofies over there. We'll talk about whatever we want over here, and nobody will make us feel bad for that. I'm so sorry. I know that that's something that you want to do, but it just ain't going to happen. I feel nothing.
No.
Oh, there's so much to talk about too.
There really
and
is.
it seems
We
like
haven't even
these-
got to Heidi's little
these
interview.
idiots dominate everything, so we never get a chance to.
And we're
go over
honest,
anything
ain't we, Lolita and Jerks? This is what we're here to do, to cover it, to talk about it.
Yep.
That's
Yes,
it's so.
ma'am.
Sorry, all this.
We'd like to get further branched out, but y'all won't behave. Let us move
Yes,
on.
we're talking about doing a separate channel
We-
where we can actually talk about true crime without getting into all this. But unlike other channels, we're not going to say, "Oh, we'd like to do true crime, but we keep getting put off by all the drama." No, we love the drama. We've got no problem with the drama.
Yeah.
The drama will still exist on this
gives
channel,
us-
regardless
Gives us
of what else
plenty of
happens.
material. I mean, honestly.
They
But unlike the
actually said that.
bullshitters, when we want to
Yeah.
do true crime, we'll do true crime. We won't say, "Oh no, if only they would let us."
Yeah, I
Oh,
think we're
no.
gonna take over Monkey Monday. No, I'm serious. You heard it here first, y'all. We are
No, it's
taking
gonna
over.
piss her off.
We are taking over Monkey Monday.
I mean that. No,
I
seriously.
can
in all
imagine the smoke
seriousness,
shooting out of her ears.
If we
On
want
our
to
new
talk
true
about it.
crime channel, Puce Phoenix.
Right. Oh my God.
So nobody take that wrong. That was towards but we could talk about, there's nothing wrong. Anybody can cover any case they want. Now we don't claim to be a true crime channel,
I was
but I find
serious.
it very interesting in this community. One person's talking about something and another one picks it up and people get all tore up. This is a big platform, y'all.
You should be wanting people to talk about the same crime stories that you're talking about, because surely the aim is to get justice for these families. The more
Wouldn't
the
that
merrier.
be the purpose?
That's
You
kind
would
of the
think
point,
so.
especially missing children.
You want them home.
Yeah, let me go find a picture of him right now.
He's an adorable little boy.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Justice,
It's
have
really
you done any
unfortunate.
shows on Michael Vaughn? Because I would love to.
We'd
see
love to
you-
review them and study up on it.
Wee Frosty, I saw your
Because we're not
comment
going to go
about-
in there and say the same thing every week.
No. Wee Frosty, I saw your comment about Lovely 15. I actually have no idea about Lovely 15 other than when my name was brought into it. They seemed like a proper cunt. I don't know why people don't get together
Okay,
and
lip lock.
pool all their information. It would seem to be the best thing to do rather than running around chasing your tail. Oh, look at that face.
He is
I
adorable.
know, he is the sweetest little thing. And unfortunately, I don't think YouTube is going to be the one to figure this out.
Unfortunately.
Do we know his date he went missing? I know it was around
Was
the
it
time
Idaho?
Summer did.
Yeah,
I know
Idaho.
he went missing from Idaho.
Yeah, mom was at work, dad was at home. Split second. That's all it takes. You take your eye off your kid for a split second and your world is changed forever.
Thank you, Jamie Howard, July 21. July
Spelled his name
2021.
wrong. July 2021. Yeah, so that's there's a lot of controversy surrounding that case. I think that's why people like covering it, because of that whole Twitter Spaces thing. You know, I've always thought it was sketchy to begin with, but I've kind of come to the conclusion that it was just a case of dad wasn't paying full attention. And those kids are high energy. Have you ever heard that little girl on some of those
Yeah, she's very busy at her
she
age.
she is hell on freaking wheels. And if little monkey was just as high strung as her, my God.
I mean,
That's all
I'm
it
not
takes.
going to lie. When my son was younger, he got away from me. And it was I'm sure every mother can relate.
Yeah.
It just takes a second.
A
And
second.
that doesn't mean that you're a bad parent, but every parent can relate.
Yeah, and I think that's why the dad seems sketchy to a lot of people, because he harbors that guilt, because he probably beats himself up over it every single day. Like, man, I should have just,
Well,
Especially being
it
a
is
father.
where you think your children are most safe is at home in the
at
house
home,
with you,
right?
you know. So
I mean, people keep talking about him having failed lie detector tests. I'm not a great believer in lie detector tests.
Me
An
either.
example of one of the husbands of a woman who was murdered by BTK, he took 2 lie detector tests. The first one, he was quite happy to do. The police asked him, even though he got an alibi. He failed spectacularly. He
Is
then
that the
paid
bind,
it-
torture, kill?
Yes.
Thank you, Vestiges.
And he paid to have a top professional do one privately for him. He failed spectacularly. Now, it's since come out, they've actually proven with
Can you highlight
DNA,
Liplock's comment?
confession, everything.
Yes, I
This
did.
man was not involved in the murder of his wife, but his guilt was such he just couldn't pass a lie detector test
Right.
because
Yeah.
he was consumed with guilt.
That's why they don't use them in court.
No,
Yeah.
and so many things could affect that. I have such high anxiety that I would be a nervous wreck, guilty or innocent. I would be a nervous wreck trying to take a lie detector test.
Yeah.
No
there's a
joke.
million
Especially
reasons.
being questioned by any type of authority, especially law enforcement, detectives. Yeah, that would stress you out.
And then to imagine your child or whoever is missing, and oh my gosh, like I couldn't imagine trying to take a lie detector test during that kind of
Right.
emotion.
And the
Oh,
whole
God,
world
no.
looking at you and blaming you for it. And
Yeah.
I've always had that sinking feeling that it was somebody in their neighborhood because it was too convenient, too clean. Like, where the hell did he go? Why did nobody else see anything? It's just weird because a lot of these cases, like, do you remember that whole Slender Man stabbing and
Oh,
yes.
that other case where that teenager lured a little kid into the woods and she had like a grave pre-dug and everything? Like, some kids are really, you know,
They went
Off
for that whole
kilter.
Slender Man. It became kind of like a cult thing, this whole Slender
Yeah,
Man.
that was a bizarre thing.
Yes,
Mm.
it was.
Yeah, that was crazy.
yeah, but I've always just had this nagging feeling that it was like an older kid, like a teenager or somebody that was close. And like, it's the same thing with Summer too. Like, it was an opportunistic type of thing. They saw this kid, they saw nobody else around, and they made that split second bad decision to grab
Oh,
him and
Now,
go.
Liplock is saying that the detective now thinks that Michael disappeared between the
Can I
6:40 p.m. and 7 p.m.
Right,
Can I-
20-minute window.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Harley.
You can make popcorn.
I just wanted to say, can we not go too much into the missing kids thing? Because I honestly hate mixing that with drama. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah,
I
I do
agree.
Make
We
a
too.
still
very
have,
good
It
point.
kind of
we
makes me
still
feel
have
bad.
a lot of drama to go. So
Yeah, you
we
do
will.
make a very
Yeah.
good point.
Yeah, we'll have
I
have
get
one
it.
I mean, I
We
know
brought-
I'm the rudest person on YouTube and all, but
Yeah,
I have a
Harley.
little bit of a heart, you know.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree 100%.
I
We
think-
brought his
I
name
think
up
we've
though, and it was
fallen
hard
into it.
to not at least show his picture and say something if we brought his name up
Yeah, we'll cover him on Monday.
This
Monday.
this channel is really
Oh my
the whole
God.
reason it came about is it's just an extension of exactly how we talk with each other day in, day out.
It really
of
is.
course-
We will switch topics from crime to, oh my God, y'all hear Heidi over there crying in that horrible accent, to back to, what do you think Don's going to do when he gets out of jail? Oh my God, did you see how Purple spelled that? I mean, it just,
So we've just slipped into it, but I agree with Harley. It is
Yeah,
better to try and keep
100%.
these things separate. But
We appreciate you getting us back on track, Harley.
yes, we do.
absolutely, absolutely. But
Oh,
we're
oh,
like
oh.
that. It's just like a coffee morning. Whatever
Speaking
crosses
of-
our mind.
I mean, as a
something you
matter of
said, and I
fact, we
don't
were
know
going
what-
to put up this crazy photo on our community wall, and one of us in our group said, could we please not do that? Probably is a little too far. So
do
we're
what?
not the meanest people on YouTube.
Was a fabulous
Oh, Lord.
picture, though.
Yeah, but
It was a great picture. But we try to respect each other and care about each other's feelings. And, we talk about all the stuff that we're going to do because we don't want to take it too far.
And what I
especially
loved about
graphics
that-
and stuff.
What I loved about that is
Right.
the fact that somebody's feeling was uncomfortable. Somebody felt uncomfortable about something, and they just came right out and said it. There was no going off to somebody else and talking about it. They came into us and said, "Not sure about this, guys."
Right. And without attitude.
and that
It was
was
just,
it.
hey, yeah. Yeah. It's really
That's how
that
we roll.
simple.
If you guys all are wondering, like, just the insinuation said we're all gonna fall apart at some point.
And turn on each other. It hasn't happened in over a
Well,
year.
It's because we know how to talk to each other and we know how
Yeah.
to appreciate each other's.
I would see the back of being on here before I would see the back of these ladies. The channel
Oh,
is great
no.
fun, but it doesn't mean anything to me compared to being able to talk to these women in private.
Absolutely.
There's just no comparison.
What an amazing group of ladies I have found on here. And I've been on here a long time. And this is just an amazing group. I love them. I do. Y'all can make fun of that if you want, but I actually do.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. We don't even
Clown
care.
me. Bullies. Speaking.
I love these girls.
Speaking of Lenny, I left you out. Agent Lenny, get your
Oh,
troll
really?
game
Oh,
up.
YouTube Commissioner Lenny.
Commissioner Lenny, you got to get
What
your
was the
troll
other
game
account?
up. Huh?
The account with the yellow thumbs up that was blurting
You
on
got
the thing?
this.
You've got this?
Yes,
Lenny,
Lenny. Lenny.
you can't lie and say you don't have alt accounts and then brag about what you've been doing with your alt account.
It don't work.
You've got to be smarter than that. Yes, it might
The
be
problem
a
is
different
they think we're
room.
stupid. Sorry, carry on.
It might be a different room that you're blurting out your pride and joy about having doxed somebody's name in this chat a few weeks ago. But that meant that you outed the account that you wrote it under because you were the only person who said that name. Unfortunately, you're not too good at this.
We need Monica's dun 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 or whatever it is.
But yeah,
So
thank
please.
you, Monica. Thank you. But yeah, Lenny, get your troll game up. You can't type exactly how
Okay,
you
Love
would.
Flock, we love you.
Also,
would
Linny, challenge. Did not mention Ziggy for 24 hours challenge.
That's
I
a
bet you
good
can't
challenge.
do it.
Bet
Well, not
you
unless you
can't
keep
do
off the
it.
internet for a day.
She said that our
And it
our
doesn't
channel,
count if you call her Zaggy instead.
Yeah,
Holy
that might
smokes.
help. She also
That
said
hasn't gotten
that,
old yet.
that our channel was made. This poor girl or woman was made to track 6 up. What?
The
Tracker? Honey, she's
Where?
on YouTube. Where am I
Did she go to
tracking her to? I got questions.
We ain't tracking her. We're just trying to get her to shut the hell up.
I begged y'all for months to make this channel.
Wait. She's at the gas station. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
She's back from Africa and at the gas station. New job.
I mean, I suppose in one way, she went so extreme over Cam that did make us want to speak out. But the thing is, we'd spent months going, oh, for God's sake, I wish she'd just shut up. You finally took it too far and we wanted to discuss it. So who's to blame? Also, if this whole zaggy bullshit thing carries on, I'm just going to start calling you Looney instead of Linny.
Looney.
There you go.
Looney.
That's a good one.
Fitting.
You know what?
There's her new name.
And I said, and you all told me I was wrong, and you were right. I said that Lenny might be a little smarter than to go over and join Purples because she'd be homeless. And I'll be damned. It wasn't a few days later, and there she was.
We told you.
I thought, well,
she goes to Tony's too.
And Tony's.
Tony's.
Well, yeah, they're scrambling now because their little homeless community, their hobo camp, fell apart. So now they're drifting.
I thought, but I think what Lenny does is she Googles smart things to say and type in chat.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. But I thought she might be like, how do you sit there and sorry, Tony, if you're still in the bushes, I can't listen to you. Oh my God. Like, how do you sit there and just listen to Tony talk about the government's frauding us? Oh, by the way, last year I stubbed my toe and it hurt. Hey, Brenda, I'm on to you, Wachowski. I get pissed off. I got to actually I'm like, no,
that's going to be the next graphic coming out.
Tony's obsession with poop is out of control.
It really is.
Oh my God. What in the heck?
The fecalophilia.
Fecal
and
Fecophilia.
things going up the.
Wow.
We Frosty saying Tony wanted to run a full investigation into who Linny was because Linny turned up in the chat. Tony's sort of paranoid about who's in the
He
chat.
is. Yes, it's YouTube,
Well, she
y'all.
should
Anybody
be a
can
little
show
paranoid
up.
about that one. I mean,
It's not Facebook or Instagram. You don't get to lock down YouTube like that. You can block everybody before they even come in. I'm sure you do. But anybody can be in your chat. But you are so highly paranoid. Someone can come in and say, hello. I've never seen you before. Who are you? Are you like, do you hate?
it doesn't matter though, because they don't even have to answer her because she will forget that she asked a question and
God, I
be on to
swear, yes.
something else. She's like, oh, a squirrel. Oh, wait, want to see my bunny?
She'll nod out for a solid 10 minutes and then start talking like she never fell asleep.
Oh, and that brings me segueing again. Speaking of people nodding out, Poots. No one can convince me that woman does not nod off when people come on her panel. This morning, Frank did it again. Purple, you should have dropped it. Purple.
Yes,
You're
he
dirty
did.
for that. And you loved every minute of him dragging Heidi. You really did. I got it. Oh, God, I sound like Heidi. I got the screenshots,
We
y'all.
got it. We got it.
Frank
So
was the
Frank
best
came
part
up
of my morning.
And I don't care
clearly-
what. Go
What?
ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't care what, just while I'm thinking about it, I don't care what Purple said this morning. Last night, even though, like, I was trolling in there and it was perfectly fine, we weren't having a bad time. Somebody kept timing me out, but I don't think it was Purple, to be honest.
Right.
But anyways, I don't know. I lost my train of thought now, but
Well, you were being
I don't know where.
nice. You were actually
Yeah.
being nice, and you would get timed
Oh.
out.
That's what I was going to
Every
say. When Vestiges, sorry about that. But when Vintage wanted to come up, I believe if Heidi hadn't been there, Purple would have let her up.
She would have. Yep.
Oh,
But
for
Heidi threw
sure.
such a fit.
Oh, and then
And
she
she's-
went off on that one woman, Windmill Dallas or whatever her name is.
Windmill.
Windmill?
Windmill.
Well, she was actually
Well,
giving.
Wilson, you got a new nickname.
She was actually giving Heidi some pretty decent advice there at the end, like, maybe let this go. It's not, you don't know these people personally. And Heidi took it personally, you all. She got mad at that lady.
Yes, she did. It
She's
was
like, you don't know what I have been through. I mean, like, she got tore up. I thought she was going to call the police on her.
There's a
But
10-second clip.
Probably launched
after
a full
this one.
investigation.
And Heidi threatening to rage quit.
Which she did this
Please, Heidi,
morning. You got
do it.
that pulled up, Lovelita? Because this
Yes,
is a
ma'am.
good one.
Let us
Well,
talk about
And don't try to
the
strike.
Oh, these beautiful Hallmark moments.
movies. See, this is where everything gets confused.
Come on. Just,
I'm like,
you can
Hey,
do it.
hey,
There we
Heidi,
go. Yeah.
can you
yeah.
hear me
I'm
right now?
goodness.
Can
We
you?
can hear you.
you.
Okay. Please believe me right now because you know how I am. What I want, I was not making a joke.
I don't know what you're talking about, Frank. I only came up here for one reason.
Oh,
One
cool.
reason only. Just a minute, Frank. I saw the comments from last night. I did not know.
See,
Shut up,
here's the
Frank.
problem. Is shut.
I just want to say one thing, and I'm leaving.
Heidi, please.
Just give me my 1 minute. I didn't know Purple was gonna let everybody in last night, and
Oh, yeah.
I am being berated.
Okay. Here we go. Now, Purple will let this go on, and she won't say nothing for a while, which is that's always kind of amazed me, not in a good way, that Purple will, someone can come up there and say the most, they could say something horrible, and Purple will just sit there on mute.
Huh?
They could
She'd
be
be like,
making.
I didn't say it.
Yep.
She wants the drama.
She wants the drama. Frank was up there drunk. He wasn't drinking. By God, he was drunk. Let's just be real. And here comes Heidi. Here we go.
For
No.
not allowing
Hey,
vintage up on panel last night. Frank, give me
It
a
wasn't
minute.
your choice. It was mine.
Hold on.
Purple asked me.
Heidi, Heidi. You are not being berated. Okay. This is starting to aggravate me.
Did you see the comments from last night's video, Frank?
Oh, well, guess what, Heidi?
It's all about
That's
you,
what
Heidi,
happens
right?
to everybody.
I don't know what you're talking about, Frank.
Yes, you do.
I just
No.
came up here to.
You do.
Oh
You
my
do.
God. Oh my God.
Frank,
No.
let her have a chance to speak.
Hold on a fucking second.
Hey,
She kind of
You
interrupted
fucking-
Frank, to be fair, popping up there like that.
You
He
start
was
shit,
talking first.
and then
It was. I
He
started.
was
You
trying to
don't
finish a
end it.
thought too.
Well, I'm about to end it.
Is
if you
that
could just-
I would love for you to end it.
All right.
So would we.
This is the last time I'll be on Purple's panel. I will be here to support you, Purple,
That's bullshit.
but I am not going to.
It is
Yay.
bullshit. I'm with you on that one, Frank. I think it's bullshit.
Since it's my fault.
Right,
and I'm
Frank?
being yelled
Total
at.
bullshit.
And
Hey,
I'm
hang on a
on-
minute.
Oh, I thought Purple said, hang on a minute to us.
What?
I'm like, you get out
but
of
I'm
here.
con-
I thought that was one of you saying, "Hang on a minute." And I paused. It was her.
I was like, whoa,
It was
hold on.
It was Perp telling him to be
Oh,
quiet for a minute.
It takes her 5 minutes, but she finally, and she doesn't really want to. You can tell she's sick of Heidi, but she loves the drama too. Frank's drunk. The morning's starting out. It's starting out great for her. So she finally has to act like she means business, you know. And let her talk a minute.
I thought Heidi was giving Perp that channel with 1,300 subscribers. I guess not now, huh?
That would never work.
She's not going to be able to go on the panel with her if she does, because she just said to all of YouTube that she's not going on Perp's panels anymore.
Thank God.
She's lying.
Oh no, damn it.
constantly being blamed that your channel has gone downhill because of me.
Yes.
And because I had no right to say Vintage could not come up here last night after what she did
Can
to
we
me.
speak some reality
So-
here?
With that, I'm just going to say I will be here to support you, Purple, but I can't participate in any of this anymore. I love
Hey,
you.
Heidi, and I am really talking to you.
she dropped down, Frank.
What
just wanna
the
say on
fuck
that-
ever?
It was my choice not to let Vintage on panel.
She didn't even really mean that. That's all she had. Heidi
There's another
literally-
10-second clip if you can find that one.
Yeah. She literally uses emotional blackmail manipulation right here. That is all that is. What she's wanting is Purple, which I don't know why she thinks she's going to get that from Purple. Purple nodded off, okay? She's wanting Purple to say, no, Heidi, I love you. Stay. And Purple really does want her to kind of go. Sorry, Heidi. That didn't work out for you, honey.
You know what, Heidi? You're a snake.
Snake.
Heidi's a whole ass hot mess.
What was it?
We couldn't really hear it.
I think she's working on the sound.
Yeah, we don't hear it. I don't.
No, I don't either.
You know what, Heidi? You're a
There you go.
snake. Hey,
You're a snake.
hey.
See, she loved it. That's all she said. Hey, that means, listen, I don't really care what you're saying about Heidi. Right now, it's bringing me the views, and I'm kind of sick of Heidi. Yep.
Because maybe she's starting to understand that Heidi was trouble for bringing that
Yeah.
channel to where it got.
But she's not going to want to admit that.
No.
No.
But then Frank tells Purple to go fuck herself and she drops him.
Right.
And then she's going to say, I hate to tell her, but she was gonna. Then she said, "I don't know why Frank's being so mean to everybody." Well, okay, I'm not trying to be rude or anything. He has a mental illness that's been put out there. I don't need to say what it is, but that's part of it. When you're not taking medication and you have that illness and you're self-medicating with other stuff, you act out. It causes behaviors.
It sure does. And I don't think it's okay to have him on the panel when he's behaving like that or feeling like whatever's going on with Frank.
No, it's not.
It's not cute.
When you see that's his behavior, you should drop him. When he sobers
Yeah.
up and he's okay, then you can talk to him. Purple,
They
you're just
exploit
dirty and grimy.
people like Frank. It's like picking on the special needs kids at school. That's what they remind me of. They exploit and go after people that they perceive as weaker than them. And Frank's antics get views.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
of course he's not going to kick them.
Everybody's like waiting to see who Frank goes off on next, you know.
Right.
Like, you know how he goes by Frank lacks sympathy?
Right. Red and blue. Frank.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at. Frank lacks sobriety.
Frank lacks sobriety. Yep.
Yeah, while they're busy calling everybody that says, like I said earlier, boo to them, a bully and a hate channel. Yeah, okay. I don't think so. But go ahead. Go off, Purple, over there.
But what I really want to point out about that whole clip is Frank was up there on panel and he was trying to talk and say something about something that was bothering him. And what happened?
Right.
Boom. Heidi pops up in there and
With
makes
her
it all about
emotional-
Heidi. Let me drop some kind of emotional baggage on everybody and make this all about me.
Yep. That's why she's been
And
through
she
so
wonders
many.
why people say stuff.
That's
Why
why she's
was
been
the
through so
chat
many
angry?
friends or YouTube associates. She
Why was
doesn't
the
know how to act right.
Why was the chat angry at her last night? They
'Cause she
got
was acting.
angry because she was telling a story, but it wasn't all actually factual. And when the other person that she was telling the story about wanted up on panel, she was like, nope, I'll get down. Nope. She did not want to have a discussion with the person that she was telling stories on.
Right.
And that is what the chat was like mad about. Like, whoa, you opened this up, you unblocked people. Vintage came in to tell her side of the story and you didn't let her up.
And Purple would have let her up if you hadn't been throwing your little hissy fit. Oh,
Get
Queen
down
OG.
then. If you didn't want to be there, you don't have to stay on the panel. You don't have to be there the entire time.
Queen
It's
OG,
Purple's
they got back
show.
together, a couple weeks ago, wasn't it, Lolita?
It was fairly recently, maybe like a week ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah, I don't think it was a couple weeks ago. It was fairly recent.
It's
'cause we were
YouTube
all
time. It's hard to
surprised.
tell.
Yeah, because remember when we had the call like 2 days ago? You're like, oh my god, you're right. You said that Frank was going to
Yeah.
go running back, and he did. Yep.
Yep, you
That
called it. You said it won't last.
Yeah,
he did.
predictable. Just like with the Heidi thing being ousted. Everybody keeps Heidi around because she throws money at people. Nobody's going to let her just walk away.
Oh, that's right. Oh, can I mention something before I jump off here? Because I don't want to forget this. Purple, why are you associating yourself with this Queen OG thing? Because if I remember correctly, I don't remember Queen OG actually mentioning anyone yesterday in her live at all.
Yeah,
And she
I was
certainly
wondering
didn't
about
mention
that too.
Yeah,
But
she
Purple
certainly didn't mention
included
you.
herself into it. Why?
Yeah, and if it's an
How
investigation,
involved are you, Purple?
if it's an investigation, Purple, do you have any sense at all? She can't talk about it like that. And why are you clinging to this story? Hey, Agent Lenny, or you got this. I see you. Agent Lenny's entered the chat. But yeah, why are you because I don't know why you want to be associated with something allegedly Heidi may or may not have done. There's a lot of wheeze over there.
But something
You're staticky.
You're cutting out.
I know you don't like us. All right, let's try this again. Hang on. Or now?
Oh, that's better.
It's better?
Yep.
Okay. I know you don't like us, right? But
yep.
I think it's your connection.
All right, I'm changing headsets.
Well, that was better.
So many technical difficulties today. God.
And that's part of it. When you have a live show, you're going to run into it.
Can you hear me okay like this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, then I'll just go with the speaker on here. Anyway, Frank, I know you don't like us. You don't care for us. You've called us all kind of names, and you're going to destroy us and all that stuff that you usually say. But if you'd like to send an email, I will personally read it to everybody. If you'd like to tell us what it was that you were so upset about, and we'll read it out. Because, no, you know, you deserve to have your voice.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody, Heidi won't get up here and take it from you and interrupt it. That's all. That's all I wanted to say to Frank.
Right, Queen OG. You didn't accuse anybody, but people like to say they didn't do stuff, and that right there speaks all the. It just kind of makes me more suspicious of them. Like, why are you so worked up and bothered about this if you don't have nothing to do with it? She even went as far as to asking Queen OG to show the receipts. Are you dumb? It's an investigation. She don't have to show you nothing, Purple.
Did you just ask her if she was dumb?
I know. Is that a rhetorical question?
It was a rhetorical question. Have you seen her spelling?
Oh.
It's all about the drama. She
The
doesn't
way
care
you
where
just
she gets
laughed
it
sounded
from.
like house. Sorry.
All right, ladies. Well, I have to log off for the night. It has been fun, as always. Y'all keep the show alive. And y'all, please hit that thumbs up for us, okay?
All right. Good night, Lurker.
Good
Thanks,
night,
sweetie.
y'all.
See you. I'll see you later.
Good night,
All right.
Lurker.
Good night.
Bye, Lurker.
I have to say, though, for all the annoyance of Tony and other people on the panel, it's been quite refreshing to have sort of brief breaks from Purple having an absolute bloody mental breakdown. and it's amazing that she's quite chill in the mornings because she hasn't quite woken up. And then by the time the evening comes on, she gets on, she is ready to absolutely froth at the mouth. I mean, the other night, she was just ranting away. And
She
also,
was.
she's started doing so many accents now.
She's spinning.
I mean, she's got the whole sort of comedy gangster from the 1940s, sweet cheeks going on. And then when she really ramps up and she starts ranting about somebody, then suddenly all the sort of street vernacular comes out, you know, sort of like she can't decide whether she's entering RuPaul's Drag Race or whether she's an independent black woman who don't need no man, Zed snap. You know, it's like really in. You've got too many personalities going on.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. No, it was funny. Her losing her shit the last couple nights has been absolutely comical. I guess she's stuck between like the unknown, like YouTube's supposed to be taking her channel, but all those last minute desperate pleas to Twitter. Did you see those? She must have tweeted YouTube like 200 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw them.
Begging.
I love Wee Frosty's point because I do believe that eventually one way or another Purple will still be on here, but she screwed her AdSense. When she doesn't get the same amount of money coming in, even if she manages to keep her channels, that's going to be an issue for her. Because let's face it, that's the bottom line with Purple.
Yeah. Yeah, how the hell does she have, what did she say? one income for 8 people, and
And
it's
also,
taking.
Too late.
one of
I
the
didn't jump in
things is
fast enough.
She's got one income for 8 people, but then she has to go and pick the kid up from work.
Okay.
Yeah, which is another income.
what is it? Community service?
And I believe the other kid is older. The other daughter is older than the one that she picks up from work.
Yeah, that one's 21.
And also has a partner, I think. But anyway,
Wait,
it
no,
doesn't
there's an
make sense
18-year-old,
because just
a
recently,
21-year-old, there's boyfriends, then there's the underage minor child, but there's only the grandbaby and the other underage child are so they're 2 out of the 8
Thank you.
are underage. How is there only one income for everybody
When she
else?
said she started charging rent.
Yeah, how
are they paying rent then if there's no income?
Yeah.
If they're not working.
what are we doing there? That's racist.
The logic there's no logic at all.
No, it was
Also,
trying.
you can't have it both ways. You can't be struggling on one income, and on the other hand, you're saying that your husband provides for you very well, actually, and he's a big dog. He runs 2 departments. He runs 2 departments, but he's paid peanuts. Make it make sense.
Yeah. Tabby's not responsible for feeding your kids. She has nothing to do with that. So you want to go in there and make a fool and get in trouble on your channel and get struck and lose your channel, that's on you. That's on you. It's not on Tabby.
Well, here's the thing. She's blaming everything all on Tabby, but it's not just Tabby. She's been going after people every day for months. Shorty, which she inserted herself into. Who else?
So many disputes with other channels.
The whole
It's not just about
tavern.
She
Tabby.
gets so mad at the tavern, but there's so many times the tavern could have struck her, and they didn't. They didn't.
She has problems no matter where she goes, and she keeps bringing up this whole thing about her being doxxed. That was Doug. That had nothing to do with anybody.
Right.
And because it happened to her, that excuses her doing it to everybody else. And how many times have people come to us with bullshit to put out on people and we won't touch it? Personal information. I mean, it's one thing to sit here and clown Purple because she's fucking stupid, or to clown her husband because he's old as shit and
That's stuff that they've chosen to put out.
Yeah,
but we're not showing you where he actually works. We're not showing you where she actually lives.
And it
We're
was
not showing you the names of all her family members.
Pissed me off
what
to
they've
no
done.
end when
We're not
people
showing you all
think that they're gonna send shit in, like that whole thing with her selling tobacco to freaking minors. Like, you're out of your goddamn mind. You know, if you have a problem with Purple because she doxed you, then make a channel and do it yourself.
We had that a week before she mentioned it to get ahead of it, and we weren't going to mention it
we
because
did.
it does not matter. It's not relevant to us. And it's not relevant to her channel.
She didn't do it on YouTube.
It was exactly. So, people have sent us stuff, but we don't choose to blurt it all out. We're not interested. If you do a program or a video on something, we'll discuss it then, but we don't want secret tattletale behind the scenes. We're just not interested.
No.
Tabby,
Talk about it on YouTube. Then we're gonna talk about it.
Tabby was advised not to show that whole sprinkler thing, and she went and did it anyway. So, what are you gonna do?
It's not like we're gonna go, oh, you got it wrong. It's really this.
Yeah, I
On
wouldn't.
YouTube.
I don't really understand, Tabby, why you don't just sit it out at the moment. Sort of don't interfere with your enemy while they're making a mistake. Just let them bury themselves.
File your papers and then just go on with your channel doing what you started a channel for. You didn't start a channel for Purple. So just go do what you started a channel for and act as if Purple doesn't exist. She doesn't have to in your mind.
Purple took great offence at the fact that apparently people were emailing her to say that they were glad that she was going, and she showed her an image on screen of I don't know whether it was a chocolate bar or a bar of soap, but it said, thank fuck you're leaving or something like that.
I saw that. She held up it on her cell phone. It was hilarious.
And she doesn't get the fact that the reason that she's getting this sort of response is because of how gleefully she has behaved when she's had the opportunity to try and strike down other channels.
Right.
Somehow it's now that it's happening to you, it's not quite the thigh slapper that you thought it was.
There's so many people I have heard that she has tried to strike, including us.
Yeah. She tried striking us. What was that for? I don't even remember. Something really dumb too.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
At Queen OG, you're absolutely right. Nobody should depend on YouTube money.
No, not
It's gonna vary.
Mr.
It's gonna vary.
Unless you have like 1 million subscribers.
Right.
You might be like, yeah, this will probably be here for a month or two.
Trying to read chat. She said the most she's made is $300. How much food are you going to buy for that? Not a whole lot.
No.
Yeah.
You could probably get that $300 back if you gave up smoking. Again,
Right.
your choice. Your choice.
Yeah. Yep. That was
I've got nothing against people having a cigarette if that's what they want to do, but don't tell me that your children are, the food has been taken out of their mouths, because sure as shit, nothing would come between my kids and their food.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. That was always my big thing when people sat here crying poverty. Oh, I can't afford this or that. Well, give up your 3-pack a day cigarette habit.
Yeah, or buy a car that you can afford, or there's loads of similar things. You make your choices.
Yeah, but Tabby's not responsible again to worry about feeding your family. If you're worried about it,
also, why isn't Bonnie getting dragged?
and follow them.
What'd you say, Pearl?
Why isn't Bonnie getting dragged? I mean, Bonnie is one of the strikes. How come all this is on Tabby?
She did mention her last night, but I don't remember.
She doesn't really go in on it, does she?
No,
she doesn't.
Threatened to bully and talk about her for every day until she removed the strike, like she did to Tabby.
Yeah, that was straight up extortion.
It's blackmail, yeah.
Yeah, the first program where she announced that she thought she was losing her channel, that was disgusting. They were all trying to say, take the strikes back, take the strikes back.
Yeah, take the strikes back, or we're gonna put out to the whole YouTube land what happened to your kids. Like, that wasn't even anything on Tabby.
It had nothing to do with YouTube or really. It just, it was gross. What are you cooking? It was a gross thing to do.
With the greatest respect to Queen OG, I don't think a job typing online is there for perp. I just don't think that's going to be her forte.
No, hard work to her is spamming everybody's freaking chat with her link to subscribe for a year.
Probably not her thing.
Anyway, I don't expect her to disappear. Even if she's suspended over this, I expect that she'll be back, just like Doug, just like Benny, and she'll glory in it. But the thing is, you've made an absolute shit show of your reputation.
Yeah.
I don't know why there isn't anybody around her who has seen the way that she's changed over the last few months. I mean, it may be that it was always secretly in there and we just hadn't seen it online.
What I've been fascinated by,
she's out of control. Carry on. Sorry.
I've been fascinated by looking, like, when she said she was going to put all this information out about Tabby.
Oh.
I went to go see who showed up in the chat.
Right.
Because that's just gross. They were in there chatting, egging it on. They're just as bad. I guess those are perps people for sure.
Jamie Howard, she is making another channel. We've already put the promo out for her if you want to
The
look at the video.
purple dodo walking away from the dumpster fire. And Becky's there for it.
She's probably also watching. Hey, Becky.
Hey, girl.
And she made it under her daughter's name.
Just real quick, Just Dawn, I think it was, had a comment that said something about Florida. What was it?
Let me go look.
Like 300 dead in Fort Myer, I think it said.
No. Oh, yeah, they got hit head on with that hurricane. Oh,
yeah, that is horrible.
dead.
Prayers to everybody.
Oh,
It is
no.
terrible. Yeah, I think they were one of the first to get hit.
Oh, I've got really fond memories of Fort Myers.
It's beautiful.
I did hear from my family today. So, anyways, I'm praying for everybody there.
I'm really glad, Harley. I was wondering, but I was almost too scared to ask because it's such a big deal.
Yeah, it's a mess, and they do have power. She did text us, but she said she can't call out yet. So as soon as she gets able to call out, she'll call us. So
that's good. You heard from them at least.
Yeah, that made me feel a lot better.
Wow, 300 is such
that's a huge number. Absolutely, that's like an entire freaking middle school in most places. Who do we have? Perpetual platypussy. Hey, girl.
What? Oh, hey.
Your first time here. I rarely get to see chat because I'm always sharing my screen, so.
Cracking Asses had a funny one earlier, but I can't remember it now. I didn't want to interrupt. It was hilarious.
Brother and boyfriend were here, and his mom in Fort Myers got a hold of him. No power, no cell service, lots of damage. Oh, God. Those things cost millions and millions and millions to clean up from. Oh, my God. Imagine Cuba. They don't have, like, the infrastructure and the same kind of funding that we do to clean up. Transcripts for the word bully prior to 823. It's never mentioned. Yeah, I bet. No, like I think it was Pearl who said they don't have a comeback, so they just throw up bully.
Always.
Oh yeah, they send power companies from other states too, and they pay them like triple time to go work out of state. I think freaking was it Puerto Rico that got hit really bad. And they're still
Puerto Rico's been shit out of luck for the last few years. I mean, it's been incredible. It's not that long since they had a whole recovery from the last situation.
Yeah, that huge one.
It got Cuba pretty good too, I heard.
I gather with Cuba it was mostly building damage, but they didn't actually have many deaths, which is at least something.
That's good. Yeah. It's just sad all the way around.
Yeah,
I was watching those storm chasers yesterday, and they're crazy.
They are crazy.
On a bridge while it was coming in. I was like, oh my God. It was giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I like watching tornadoes. We don't even go in the basement for anything less than an F2, but they're very interesting. I wouldn't want to drive in one, though.
It's scary. I want to go tornado chasing, but that's for a whole nother conversation.
Oh, yeah, we'll need a GoFundMe for that for sure. For armored vehicle.
Yeah.
Deck it out with gold equipment.
The jerk storm chasers.
Along with
they don't get triple time. That sucks.
Don't they? Mo, my friend's who the hell is it? I guess it's her uncle's a lineman, and they got a lot of freaking money. Ooh, what the hell one was that? It was 2014, 2015. The one that I don't remember. That might have been the one that wrecked Puerto Rico. They got paid a shit ton of money for going and putting up rebuilding the power grid somewhere. I can't remember.
Justin, your show the other day on Heidi was really, really well put together. I love the way that you gather all the bits together and you've got everything that you're going to refer to. It just really impressed. You're so professional. Even the dragging was professional. Just salute.
What does he always say? Something about classy, trashy. Well, what does he say? Say it, Justice. What is it? I don't know. He'll say something about being classy while trashy or something. I don't know. Something like that. And he's good at it, whatever it is.
Oh, did we lose
Classic
Tangeray?
Yeah, I think she had to cut out. I think she said so earlier.
Oh, okay. No, I just saw now it said she got booted. She's coming backstage again, but that was 15 minutes ago.
I hope that one week
Tango,
we'll
get
manage.
back up here. I see you down in chat.
I hope that one week we'll manage to lure up Wee Frosty, because I heard her on White Rabbit's channel a couple of weeks back and she was excellent and she's got a great voice.
Yes.
Yes. I heard her last
Join
night.
us, Wee Frosty.
So do we think that purple is going to go black tonight, or actually, I
No,
probably shouldn't say
I
that.
don't
That's
think
probably...
so.
No.
Yeah. I don't think. And if she does, then it's, oh my God, we lose content for days. Then we gotta start, we gotta start going after other people, I guess.
Wee Frosty said that she'll be there with bells on.
No, I mean, it would be funny, like poetic justice, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
No, I sort of. She's already ramped it up to such a high level that I would have liked to see the last sort of one, like, you remember Doug's last show before he got pulled? Well, this is just completely off the wall where she goes full Mummy Dearest, no wire coat hangers, screaming.
Yeah, well, she's been doing that the last 2 nights when she thought she was losing her channel.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really been ramping up. And she says that she's so chill about it. You just think, are you?
Okay.
I
That's
press
okay.
X to doubt.
That's okay. Yeah,
Tabby's
that's
not giving up.
Okay.
She's fighting this.
I love that every time that she says, but that's okay. Was it
Yeah.
the narrator? It was not okay.
Right?
I will
Exactly.
rebuild.
It was as far from okay as it's possible to go.
I can't get that out of my head. Every time she says it, that's exactly what I hear in my mind. Is it, in fact, was not okay.
Yes. Okay is a dot in the distance. It's so far from okay.
She will rebuild. The dodo bird walks away from the dumpster fire.
But all week,
Well, good,
what was
Ray.
with her voice? She changed like so many accents and pitches to her.
She does, yes.
Oh my gosh, it was hilarious.
Oh, Spirit Seeker Squad, you love the drama. Don't even lie, girl. We don't do drama, though.
Everybody does like drama a little bit,
Report the
you know?
drama. We report the drama
Funny drama.
from our perspective. That's all.
Yeah, we just talk about it. That's it.
Yes, Wee
Remember
Frosty.
when-
Her bad bitch voice is hilarious.
Remember when Perp and Six Up were trying to take down Tabby though, and it was all fun and games, and
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
now roles reversed.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. And she's crying about it. Oh, we don't want Perp to go, though, do we?
I mean, kinda.
I
would
wouldn't be
settle for
upset.
her just chilling
Remember
out a
those-
bit.
When you were in school, there was always that one kid, and then that one kid would finally move, but then the following year, you had another one that was that kid.
That kid.
There's always going to be that channel.
You're right. Even if
Hers
her
may come
goes,
or go, but there will be another that channel that just. This is how it works, guys.
Yeah.
you're right.
But yeah, if she goes, then there goes, that comedy.
Well, no, I mean, there's plenty of other stuff to talk about
I've
too, I guess.
I've been looking around just in case we lose that one.
The thing is, even if she lost her channel, she would be up on everybody else's panel, absolutely biting the carpet with frustration.
Mhm.
So you've
You
not
me-
heard the
Well-
last of her.
Do you remember one of my favorite clips from that I have from Ziggy's channel was like pretty early on, and Purple, I guess, had this falling out with Doug, and she got up on Ziggy's panel because somebody told her they had open panel, and she goes up there and she's like totally like just goes off on this whole Doug thing, and she just perping away. Nobody's interested, and then Ziggy's kind of like, oh, okay, well. And at the time, Ziggy got along with Doug. That was before a lot of stuff came out about Doug and others. But so she kind of like makes that point that she's kind of cool with Doug. She doesn't really want to start the drama there and blah blah blah. And PG was on the panel.
Prayer Garden. She's my favorite. I love Prayer Garden.
She told her to shut up.
Can you imagine Prayer Garden if somebody cuts in front of her at the supermarket, or somebody bumps her car or
I
something?
know.
Because the way that she goes off on the channel, I bet her language is incredible. I can't, it's going to be a bit more than bless your heart if you.
I bet she is so much fun to hang out with. Imagine inviting Prayer Garden for like brunch or something. Like you're going to like a really nice place and there's a spot on her glass and she just loses her shit. Yes.
Did anybody actually hear Prayer Garden's take on the whole Josh, the grab thing?
I did not.
I swear to God, she was high as a kite. I don't know whether she'd actually had something or whether it was just enjoyment of this absolute catastrophe of a shit show that was going on. But she was just giggling away at every single thing. But they were listening to the phone conversations. And when Josh was actually crying, she was killing herself laughing and calling him everything under the sun. She was saying, yeah, you should have kept those dogs' balls because you need some.
I know. She is the freaking best.
Prayer Garden high on 2X is the best.
The last time I tuned into her, she was talking about that she was trying not to swear and something about a swear jar. But I don't know what she charges herself for swear words, but
She would
I don't
need a
think she
swear
gets-
dumpster, not a
I
swear
don't think she
jar.
gets enough money from YouTube to pay that swear jar.
Did you say you were in the chat for that conversation about Josh lip locked? It was the most bizarre thing. I think some of the people in the chat just didn't know what to make of it because like they were there for serious discussion and she was just laughing like hell.
No, I
Maybe
missed that
that's
one.
the way you had to listen to those phone calls is high. Maybe it would have helped.
No, a lot of her streams are like that. It's her and Wisconsin Mama just laughing at each other about like nothing. And then the lady from where the hell is she?
Is
The
it Norway?
Scandinavian woman, Norway. Yeah.
I do give props to PG for her memes, though. They are the best.
Yeah. Yeah, she's been gone for a while. Everybody thought she kind of disappeared, but
She was gone for about 3 weeks. I don't know whether she had COVID or something else happened. But was it Prey Garden and Daisy Cow? Yeah. Oh, Crazy Daisy, the cow farm lady, is just.
We have never even reviewed them yet.
I've only listened to her a couple of times, and I find her quite difficult because she just doesn't stand her ground. She triples down. Do you know what I mean? If somebody disagrees with her, it's like a hanging offence.
She was swearing that Candace's sister was alive and on Facebook.
yes.
Everybody telling her no, that can't be true, and she was having none of it. Yeah, she'll be a fun one to review.
Did you by chance see any of her reporting from the Summer Wells vigil? I don't know whether sometimes I look at that and I think, was it performance art? Is it a secret comedy show? Is she actually like a Borat character for true crime? Because she and her sister were nearly at the point of physical fighting over balloons. And then she got in the car and left her sister behind.
Daisy got left behind, right?
Yeah.
One of them got left at a store, at a grocery store or something.
Daisy did, and Jinkies took off home because apparently it was Jinkies' car. So, maybe don't piss off your driver if it's a long way home and really super hot.
But they'd sold, people had donated money for these balloons. So they were already making a profit off it. And then they couldn't actually take the balloons down to where they wanted to because of the type of balloon that they were. And she just absolutely freaked out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they had to be biodegradable, huh?
No understanding of the fact that however frustrated you are, a vigil for a missing child may not be the place to start having a knockdown, drag-out fight with your sister.
Right. Yeah,
Hey,
and then
guys.
Betty too was losing her shit. What's up, Harley?
I'm gonna have to drop down. I might come back up if you're still up when I'm done. If not, then I'll just be in chat. Okay.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Yeah, there's so many we didn't even get to talk about yet. I need to start making better lists here, I guess.
How about our chatters? What creators would you like to see us review? And is there any requests or something?
Do you know what? I misread that.
Favorite, but
I just realised the Spirit Seeker Squad is doing the Jerry thing from Jerry Springer. I thought they were saying that they wanted us to cover Jerry. I'm thinking, okay, but I don't think he's that controversial.
Yeah.
I mean, other than his association with Heidi.
Yeah, that might be a little bit boring because I think he definitely isn't that much of the drama of YouTube. But Jerry Springer.
We Frosty Ewok, did I miss that? Did they fight over a wreath? Really? Oh my god.
Yeah, there was some kind of wreath drama, and then Bullhorn Betty had brought a bunch of decorations, and I guess it was considered it's litter. Like when you release balloons, I'm sorry, that's littering. There's 100 better things you can do for a vigil than.
Well, look at what Krama Mama and Gavel Gigs did at their vigil. They released butterflies.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Yeah, or throw like bird seed or something, plant something.
Yes, but there's far better things that you could do that are not a threat to the wildlife.
Right.
Because balloons are, no matter how pretty they look, the resultant rubbish. I really like your comment Tater's going to take. You're absolutely spot on.
Yeah, no, it's malicious. Everything she does is with malicious intent. And there's a lot of people out there that people have no idea are assholes.
And people, it's the lack of sense of proportion that gets me. And this is not just about Purple. This is true of a whole lot of people. Having a slight against you does not give you the right to like physically dice somebody up. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they say it's tit for tat, but it's not. You know, so it's like one is a slap on the face, and the other one is taking somebody's head clean off. A sense of proportion would serve you well. Like I said, there's no comparison between sexual abuse allegations and a sprinkler company. There just isn't. You know, don't be ridiculous. Yeah, intent is important.
Exactly.
Flip flop. I like Bullhorn Betty. I'm sorry.
Reviewer.
I'm
And
not
also,
a fan.
I like her. I like Betty.
also, intent is not magic. Just because you say, well, I didn't intend for somebody to get hurt, I didn't intend for this to happen, that doesn't magically make it all right. Just because you didn't foresee the consequences of your actions and didn't intend for something to happen, that does not give you a pass. You bear responsibility for what you do.
I heard somebody say that words come out of their mouth faster than their brain works. Stop it.
Yeah,
Start
think
thinking
twice.
before you speak. Take a minute and pause. Don't let that be your excuse, because it's not one. You're
Has
responsible.
anybody... Sorry, Karen.
I'm just saying that you're responsible for what you say. You can't say, "Oh, well, my mouth went faster than my brain works." Like dropping the R word. Was it this morning or last night? I don't even.
It was last night, yeah. Just blurted it out.
And then her friend did too. And they're like, "Yeah, I said it." So something to be proud of. And why are these things leaving your mouth so easily? The R word, the Hispanic slur,
I'm sorry, but
tracks.
I don't believe anybody who says that, oh, I would never have said that word. I don't know how it slipped out. It was in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't come from nowhere.
You didn't suddenly pop open a dictionary and say it.
I've never
had
even
it in your vocabulary.
heard that word used besides like movies and TV. Like I have never in my life heard somebody.
I'd never
use
heard
that
some
word.
of the words that Josh used. I'd never heard some of those terms.
I know. I had to
before.
Google some of them because I never heard them either.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch Michelle with somebody else's barge pole. I'm sure she would be entertaining, but I'm sorry, I don't want to invite that sort of negativity into my life.
No, I won't. No.
I don't understand why Ziggy did it.
Not Michelle and not Jim Terry. Neither
No.
one of them.
Oh, I like Jim Terry too. Sorry, guys.
I do like him.
I don't like him.
I find him hilarious, but I'm
Yeah,
not sure
he's
that I
so
want to
funny.
associate with him.
I like it when he trolls Purple, but yeah, no, I'm.
How did they not see that coming? How
I
did they
know.
not see how
Twice.
he was trolling?
Twice. 2 nights in a row.
Karen, are you an attorney?
Karen, say coffee.
Oh no, it's Pam now, isn't it? Or is it back to Karen?
I don't know. I don't really pay attention.
Karen was up there the other night, absolutely maintaining that depression was not a mental illness.
Oh
What
my
do you
God.
think it is, Karen?
Yeah, Karen,
Please
please tell.
explain to me.
Karen is a mental illness.
Just because not all mental illness looks like the homeless guy living under the bridge.
No, and also not everything that people call depression is actually depression. Sometimes you're just a bit down. It's a
Right.
different thing to depression.
Yeah, but clinical depression is an ailment of the mind.
Well,
Hence,
it's
mental
listed as a
illness.
mental illness.
I'm sorry, I missed what you said.
It is actually listed as a mental
Yes,
illness in
yes.
the textbooks.
Yeah, I mean, a chemical imbalance can cause depression. I mean, people can be depressed for various reasons, or sometimes they're depressed for no reason.
Yeah, Flip Flop saying that it's recognised by the state as a
It is.
disability.
Yeah, because some people are so depressed that they can't function. They can't get out of bed. They don't shower. They don't clean their homes. They don't function as regular people.
Yeah. There's all
And
kinds
it,
of different levels, but it is
yeah.
indeed mental illness. Don't
Yeah, and it can take a long time to get stable on medication.
I mean, maybe it was defensiveness. I don't know, but if
I
she's
think
diagnosed
she
depressive,
suffered depression and she doesn't want to have that stigma of it being mental illness. But you know what? That's the whole problem of why what we lack here in the States is adequate help for mental illness and awareness for mental illness. So it does have a stigma on there, and it shouldn't, because the stigma keeps people from going to seek help.
Yeah,
There's help
and
for it.
there's a lot of people who just refuse it too. Schizophrenic people who wander in the middle of the street or wander around talking to themselves. They hallucinate these scenarios. You know, this guy, his name's Brandon, and anytime you run into him, there's always a different story. The last one was Joe Biden lived across the street from him, and he owned a concrete company that he worked for. And he was just going on and on and on, like, oh yeah, he used to sell used cars too. And this guy swears this happened. And oh yeah, I saw witches flying around the moon last night. And oh, my neighbors were out in their balcony and they're naked. And then I went down the railroad tracks and all these people are walking around naked and their kids are naked and they're so disgusting. And he's like that because he doesn't take his medicine, and nobody can force him to take his medicine. You can call the cops, and the cops are like, well, he's not doing anything, so what are we supposed to do? And
Not committing a crime.
yeah.
Yep. But they desperately need to get stabilized on that. That's a shame, because a lot of the homeless that are severely suffering from mental illness, if they were stabilized on medication, they may be able to not be homeless.
Right.
But it's hard to get compliance on the medication.
I'm
I did
sorry,
not
what
see
the
that, Jen.
hell is a grass orgasm?
A what?
We
it again.
frosted and somebody else said, yeah, what the hell is that conversation about?
Oh, Jen said something about Team Rose's freak out. That was a reply to her. I'm looking it up now, Jen. Team Rose is funny.
You're absolutely right there, Hazel.
I wanted to make Pearl say it about 4 or 5 more times.
What, grass orgasm?
Fall for it.
I had to laugh to see the calf run down the path to take a bath.
Oh,
I
May,
agree
we
there,
love you.
Hazel. Mental
You
illness
shouldn't
is
be
not something
ashamed.
that you should be ashamed of. I am a medicated depressive. I take my medication every day. Some days it's a bit tough. Most days it's just a thing that I deal with. I am medicated for your protection.
There we go. But it's absolutely not something somebody can be should be ashamed of, and it's not something that you can control on your own. It's not like, oh, think happy thoughts and you'll be better.
Yeah. I would say, it, just like with any other illness, if you are prescribed medication, take the medication,
Right.
take it as instructed, do it regularly, follow all the rules.
If it needs
Because it's in
adjusting,
your own
speak to your
self-interest.
doctor.
You're just going to feel worse if you don't.
Yeah. And it does take, it takes time to have it have a notable effect on you. So you kind of have to be patient when you start out on it.
When you first start, it's quite difficult because they're going to put you on a starting dose. it's going to be at least a month on a starting dose, which may not be effective for you. It may not be until you get the higher dose. So you could be 6 weeks, even if it's the right antidepressant the first time, it could be 6 weeks before you see a sufficient change. I mean, you may be lucky. It could be that the minimum dose is for you, and 2 weeks you're seeing things pick up.
Right.
But once you have the right medication at the right dose, it is life changing. If you've got the sort of depression, that medication helps, and that medication really fundamentally works for you. If you get the right one at the right level and you take it regularly, it is life changing. It's life saving.
Yeah. That's what I would say, is that you can feel better.
Yes, flip flop. Mine is a combination of life experience and chemical imbalance. It's amazing as well. If I don't know whether you're female or male, but if you're a woman, other aspects of being a woman, like the menopause or pregnancy, or these are all complications as well, because I mean, in pregnancy you can't take some of the antidepressants. When you reach the menopause, people often have it increased depression and they have to change the medication. So it's just like, nothing is ever straightforward if you're a woman.
And hormones will absolutely make you out of whack. When I was on birth control, it made me manic when I was younger. I made it to like week 3 and I had to stop. I couldn't tolerate. I guess it was the estrogen.
Yeah. What it'll say about medication for depression and other mental ailments is that if you had pneumonia, you would take the antibiotics and not just let it sit there. If you broke your ankle,
if you're diabetic,
you'll take insulin. So if there's some kind of imbalance in your mind, take the medication. You wouldn't. Why would we not ignore all those other things, but we'll ignore something that is affecting, like, the whole computer system to our body?
Yeah, and Vestiges brought up a good point. The COVID lockdown certainly did not help. I swore that's what was wrong with YouTube, because it seemed like right around COVID, every crazy person in the world just came on and decided to make a YouTube account.
Yeah. Super important that I think when the lockdown happened, people were so freaked out and forgot to go outside. You could still go outside, maybe just keep a distance till we figured out what was going on. But, you could go outside and get some sunlight.
Into the pharmacy, and they had telehealth appointments for doctors. But there for a while, you couldn't even go to an eye doctor. My daughter, I have a subscription plan for her contacts. So I get, every month they send a month's supply, and they're supposed to be dailies, but she's a teenager, so she sleeps with the same pair in for an entire week. So anyway, she has a stockpile of contacts. She had 300 pairs of freaking contacts, and her prescription changed. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't send these back. What the hell am I going to do with all these contacts? Well, I freaking sold them on Craigslist during the pandemic because nobody could get to the eye doctor. And it was like a common prescription. So people were like crazed.
Wow.
Buying prescription contacts on the black market because they couldn't get eye doctor appointments. It was nuts. Bugsy, right. Oh no, I lost that comment. Never mess with a woman who bleeds once a month. It's highly dangerous.
I don't know. I would also say never mess with a menopausal woman, because I was absolutely batshit during the middle of the menopause. The slightest thing, and I would just rage.
I think a menopausal woman is slightly more dangerous.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it.
I was gonna say I haven't had that yet, but yay.
Although the hot
I'm
flashes
just out
sound
of the
nice.
other side of it, and I have to say that life is far more peaceful than its past. I mean, I thought pregnancy was a sort of bizarre situation, you know, like overheating and feeling sick, you know, all the various things that you feel when you're pregnant. At the menopause is just what? Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
The hot flashes.
some people sail through it, but I must admit I was unfortunate. That's when migraines really became a health issue for me, and the hot flashes and all sorts. But thank goodness that is over. I would quite like to get rid of the migraines now. They seem to have hung around, but what can you do?
Yeah,
Gen
food is
P,
crazy.
yes, it is.
What's that, getting a period twice in a month?
I had the bizarre situation where it's like things went absolutely mental before, you know, sort of the cycle was just ridiculousness until it actually calmed down.
That isn't. Do you have Prime vestiges? Because you can get pantry items. I shit you not. I went to the store. When the hell was that? Sunday, because my kid needed to bring something to school from Mexico. So I made her.
Was that the
a
Tres
cake.
Leches cake?
Yes, $83.
What?
I got the ingredients for the cake. Then I got 3 things of cat food, a gallon of iced tea, a 24-pack of bottled water, and that was it. Yeah, drink. I got water, iced tea, and cat food was the only extra thing I got, and it came to like $83.
It's absolutely crazy
run
over here.
into
The
the
pound
grocery
has
store for-
crashed. I don't know whether it's been covered on your news. In the UK, because of our recent new Prime Minister deciding to abandon the top rate of tax and a few other things, the pound has absolutely hit the ground. I remember a time when the pound was worth $2. It is barely above $1 now, which means that imports, and of course now we're not in Europe because of Brexit, yay, things are ridiculous here. The prices are just going through the roof. But we keep voting the Tories in. We deserve what we get. Yeah, we Frosty, we're screwed. Absolutely.
Yeah, and another thing too with that whole thing, YouTube not being an alternative to professional therapeutic intervention. I know people come, they want support and they want to, you know, they want somebody to complain about, but this is, you're in the true crime community for one thing, and then they try to make these offshoot communities within communities. People on YouTube, they're not bound by HIPAA for one thing. Nobody has to keep your information private, and believe me, the first time they can use it against you, they're going to. So YouTube might not be the best place to
There was
come.
a particular creator that was setting up her channel for chronic illnesses, but is also like one of the most well known in this community for screenshots.
Yeah. You really need to be careful with who you tell things to. And we got an email the other day, and we had a chat about that woman who Pearl, you know what I'm talking about. And that's what made me
Harper,
yeah. What made me think about this whole thing. I sympathize with her plight, but people, please stop putting your personal business out there to people. 9 out of 10 times these people are not your friends. And when you see people like Heidi, like Karen, like all of these bitches, they have trouble no matter where they go. That's why they hop from channel to channel, and now we have these homeless ones that are hopping now too because their freaking community is no longer, so now they're all flocking to purples because Six Up won't go live.
Yeah.
People cannot be trusted. They don't give a shit about you. And any weakness that they can play on, they're going to.
And if you've dirtied up your name, don't write to us thinking we can clean it up for you. That's not what
No,
we do.
that's not what we're about. We
Keep your
just
name
talk
clean.
about it.
I've
Yep.
just posted a link in the back chat to a cartoon called Dr. Internet, which we use the expression Dr. Internet in our house quite a lot because of this cartoon. Don't take medical advice from the internet because it's usually one of two ways, and this cartoon is very descriptive. I don't know whether it's big enough for anybody to see. The basic gist of it is that Dr. Internet, everything is either cancer or just burn it off with a lighter.
Yeah.
there's no middle ground. Yeah, I wouldn't listen to any Dr. Internet advice.
I had that on my ass and I just burned it off with a lighter and I'm fine now. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just baffling to me why. No, I get why they come. They want to make channels about their illnesses and share their experiences, but it backfires, and it backfires epically every single time.
I really can't. I find it really difficult to relate to the idea of talking online about any disease or chronic illness or acute illness that you're suffering with.
Yeah.
Because people lie so much online. I wouldn't
Oh,
trust
God.
the people that I was
Mhm.
talking to who claimed that they got the same illness as I had were actually behaving in any faith, because I've just been constantly surprised by the amount of lying that goes on. And lying about illness, it boggles my mind.
What is
I
with
can't
that?
understand why anybody
Right.
wants to be
Where's
ill.
our graphic? I'm more disabled than you.
Ugh.
Oh, I did have that on here. What the hell did I do with it? I think
I mean, I understand that Heidi feels picked on and she feels that she's called a hypochondriac. But part of the problem is you're talking about a situation, the world population, 1 in 10 people actually has a disability. If you start including chronic and acute illnesses, it's just a phenomenal number. There are many people who are seriously, seriously ill and come to the internet to get away from it. They
Right.
don't want to talk about their illnesses. That's something that they
I
deal with
never
every
wanted
day.
to be. I always knew, like, since I was probably in my mid 20s, I never want to be the old person who says, "Oh, I got this ache today," and then describe everything that happened at the doctor's office.
Yeah, that's embarrassing to me.
Right.
I would rather be seen as someone who's young and full of vitality and life, and not somebody who doesn't leave their bed, and you know what I mean.
I would rather be in, I mean, conversely, I am part of a support group that does actually use Zoom and things like that, but it's actually a organised through the hospital. You know, so it's people who are actually diagnosed who are then given the information to become part of the group. It's not
They don't
it's not an ad
self-diagnose
hoc,
and then
you know,
join.
I've just found you through Google, you know, and the clinicians actually take part in the group. So
Right.
you can talk about your concerns in a way that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to have an appointment at any medical facility. So I do think that there's a place for online support groups, but as a clinical thing, not necessarily as some just sort of spontaneous talking shop situation. And as you say, when you know somebody takes screenshots and prides themselves on taking
Mhm.
screenshots and also giving out information about people, the sort of person who can go into a private Discord, take all the screenshots and then say, yes, I did do it and I don't care. I wouldn't trust that person with any medical information.
Right.
No way.
Vestiges and
chance.
Heather, you guys should not be eating ramen noodles anyway. They're bad for you. You're gonna end up like Heidi if you don't eat healthier.
I would love some ramen noodles. I can't remember the last time I had any. Because of course salt is an issue if you've got any sort of lymph problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be the new cautionary tale that we tell our kids. Like,
You're gonna end up like Heidi.
if you do that, you're gonna end up like Heidi.
Yes, ramen, very bad, Bugsy.
It's
Very
not really the noodles, it's the salt, isn't it?
It's both. They don't really digest. Real ramen noodles are okay, but the packaged ones not so much.
The
and I get
23
people,
cent package ones. You're talking
people
about those?
don't have a lot of money to eat, but I ordered for I had placed a grocery order at Aldi yesterday. I got so much freaking fresh fruit, ridiculously cheap.
Well, they say
You just
that the
have to
best
shop
way
around.
to grocery shop is to actually shop, the outer edges of the grocery store. That's where the real food's at.
Yeah. Yeah, you just have to shop around and compare prices. Like a lot of the stuff at Aldi's, like the prepared food, is very expensive, but if you're
The fresh
willing
fruit
to
and
cook,
veggies are usually a pretty good deal.
yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. When a storm comes and you can't cook because there's no power, well, how are
Right.
you gonna cook your noodles, Vestiges? I guess you can cook them on a grill, huh? You can boil
You
water on a grill. Not in your house, though.
Refrosted fruit is expensive over here, and especially as I'm sort of committed to doing the whole 5 a day fruit and veg thing. Yeah, it is expensive.
When
I suppose I save on bread because I don't eat bread, but yeah, Aldi is good for fruit and vegetables. Apples are good to help with hemorrhoids. What are you doing with the apple?
Oh, good God.
Is this turning into a Tony conversation? Oh dear.
Oh, hold on 1 second, guys. I gotta take a phone call.
Bugsy, are there enough exclamation points after that pearl? Anything healthy is expensive in Australia. Now, I would have thought that your climate would have. I suppose actually, because some of the areas are very extreme heat, aren't they? It's funny because I always think of Australia as a very healthy outdoor living kind of place, but then on the other hand, all the creatures want to kill you. So
Right.
it seems like every type of spider in Australia is just waiting out there to kill you.
That's why I can't go there. I know that they're waiting for me. They are waiting for me, and they are coming after me.
I think some of them look really cute, but not to
They
be
have
messed with.
They got really cute animals there, but I don't think that I don't think you can pet them.
Yeah, have you seen kangaroos fighting each other? They're vicious.
Oh, you mean the kangadeers?
Yeah, kangaroo. It's they're thugs.
No.
What is Vestiges showing off about? Sorry. Oh right, he uses chicken broth with his ramen noodles. He doesn't use the drop bears. We frosty, yeah, the drop bear. I was absolutely shocked when I heard that you have to be careful with koala bears because they can give you chlamydia. It's like, wow, just from a cuddle,
what?
even worse than human beings. If you cuddle a koala bear, you could end up with chlamydia.
Oh my God.
Oh dear. You know in a bit she's going to be on, don't you?
Tangeray got my Kangadeer.
Oh, I didn't catch the word. I'm sorry, my hearing is terrible. Kangadeer, yeah, that's a great. I love that illustration of the kangadeer.
Oh, Mrs. M says she cannot get chlamydia. Like it's not a real thing, you guys. Kangadeer isn't real, but
Koalas are very cute.
Somebody tried to convince us the other day on the phone, huh? So it's just a little joke.
Koalas are adorable. We chlamydia-laden freaks like male YouTubers. That sounds like you've had a few bad brushes with male YouTubers. Just reading about them is bad enough, thanks. I'm not.
Thanks for coming in, Spirit Seeker.
Where is the English lady from? The English lady's from England.
Go figure.
Are you from England, Eileen? Yes, Tangeray, we know you've got a pic of the kangadeer. You ought to post it. Ah, yes, nuds. Apparently, quite a few creators want nuds in exchange for a wrench. That seems such a bizarre thing to do. I'm not that interested in a wrench from anybody.
No,
I'm sorry.
no. It's just they're not real, you guys. It's just like an emoji. That's all.
Yeah.
They're not real.
It's such an exploitative move.
It's so weird. Like, I don't know.
But then again, I'm from that generation where the idea of the dick pic is enough to no, thank you.
Oh my gosh. Whoever even came up with that idea in the first place. I mean, I guess like Tanga, and maybe Hardy, but the rest of us, no, we don't want to see that.
I don't think men. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, obviously, but I think it's fairly general. I think women only find that part of the body attractive when they're already attracted to the rest of the human being it's attached to. They don't want to see it on its own.
It's not like men that they don't care. They don't care. They just want to see the boobs. They don't care about the rest or anything, or don't talk or whatever. They're happy to look at boob pics. It doesn't work the same way for us females. We don't want to see it most of the time. There's a few that'll say no, they like it, but as a general rule,
I think the women who said they like it as garnish to the rest of the dish, not necessarily the dish on its own.
No, I've heard a couple say that that's okay. They can get those pics. But
there used to be a woman on Twitter who was sent lots of random dick pics, and what she started doing was photoshopping little hats on them, or later on it developed into her photoshopping them with a little hat on a horse like a cowboy, and then she would just repost them. She was eventually banned from Twitter for pornographic content, but I just love the fact that she sort of took it and made it into a thing of her own. She said, like, whether she wanted them or not, they would just turn up in her inbox. It seems a hell of an opening gambit. I mean, you must be pretty impressed with yourself if you think that that's an opening move.
Right?
Duct tape. Why are you talking about duct tape, Bugsy? Duct tape is great. Okay.
Is it for holding boobs up?
Ah, right.
Making them a little perkier.
Cracking
It's gotta be
asses.
duct tape though.
Oh dear.
Put
I
it back in.
don't get purple Peter eaters. I presume Peter is a slang term for dick, but it's not a slang term I'm familiar with.
Yeah, it is though here.
Ah, right. Little hats for what? Little hats on top of the dick pics, Bugsy. Men would send her pictures of their penis into her DM message box, and instead of losing a rag with it, she decided to make a big joke of it and put little cowboy hats on them. And eventually it sort of got into like the whole cowboy on a horse thing. I mean, she spent quite a lot of time doing it. It was fairly impressive, but then Twitter banned her.
Go figure.
I think because ironically, the men who had originally sent dick pics then took offense to their dick pics being out there and
they didn't like it.
complained. It's like, well, don't send them.
They recognize their own.
Well, I mean, I presume that they're fairly well acquainted with them. You know what they say? I mean, my husband used to say, you know, when they had the whole thing about checking your testicles, you know, sort of for any lumps and bumps, you know, like breast checks,
Right.
saying he couldn't believe that there was a man around who didn't know when a bump appeared. You know, like most of them would notice a new hair, let alone a bump. So, yeah. For some, it does seem to be the centre of their universe. Yes, May Hazel, Percy's the slang term over here. I've missed. What's the Peter on about with the circumcised guys were like, "Now I'm good." Oh, what good for hat coverage? Yeah. I really don't like the idea that I now know that Josh is uncircumcised. I don't even want to think about that. Why on earth would you chat about it on a podcast? I mean,
Right.
the information itself, I would not be interested in knowing. The then further development of what he used to do with it, I
Oh
definitely
my
don't want to
gosh.
know.
No. Don't remind me.
I mean, the idea of using it as an extra warm pocket is just bizarre. I mean, I've heard of prison purses, but goodness sake.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't think I'm ever going to feel the same way about M&Ms again. I mean, not that I've eaten any chocolate for ages, but
No. And
yeah.
didn't he say he ate it?
Yeah, for goodness sake.
Oh. That's like the same as sucking his own, you know?
Well, I don't think there's any chance of that.
Nah.
Again, we come back to the fat chick dilemma. It's basic physics.
Right.
Oh, English lady, have you ever been to Ireland? And if so, did you notice our language is like pod? I have Irish relatives. Irish on my mother's side. Yep, hard and swear as every one of them. Yeah, it is like a language of its own. It's very strange because you don't realise how offensive some terms are in the rest of the world that aren't necessarily that offensive in England. And then ironically, you've got like fanny, which is nothing in America, is actually considerably rude over here. Divided by a common language. As Tony pointed out, it's a separate language. We speak a different language.
Opal is asking why we're talking about Winkies, and I don't know.
Well, we're talking about what?
Winkies.
Yeah, because it's been, I was going to say, because it's been thrust upon us. That could have been worded better. Because the true crime community has been sort of obsessed with this whole phone conversation cheating routine, and yeah.
Now they're coming up with all the different
Oh yeah.
peckers and schlongs.
Jackie Jude, I don't know which way to take that. Was it a good thing or a bad
Tallywhacker.
thing? I will never get over the first uncircumcised penis I ever saw. That sounds like it was traumatic. Yeah, on a serious note, the whole Josh Jenny Penny thing has played out pretty much how I thought it would, which is
Nookie knob.
they're both equally problematic, but of course one is getting far more flack than the other. I don't understand quite how the man card works, but it seems to work every time. More reliable than American Express.
Yeah.
I wish people would consider that, regardless of your thoughts about recordings or that he paid the money back, that he was still talking her out of money. He was still saying these things on the podcast. He was still plagiarizing stuff. He was still not the person that you thought that he was. Or you can still convince yourself that he's the person that you thought he was. But he's done some hugely problematic things, and I'm not convinced that he's sufficiently sorry for them. But nevertheless, he sails on, and people seem to have forgiven him quite easily.
Right.
I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I would not
Yeah, I
have
really
done what
had
she did.
my
I would
biggest
not have
problem
recorded.
was over the racial stuff he had to say. That's what really, and the transphobic type stuff. That's
And yet it seems to have really sailed by quite easily. It's
right.
it's
Yeah.
strange.
That's okay. At least I know it's not for me, and I'll stay away.
Yeah. I've
Everybody
been
can
quite
decide
astonished
themselves.
by the amount of support, and not just support. I could understand if it was support that was along the lines of, I've got to say I'm really disappointed in what you've done, and the things that you said were awful. But if you're truly sorry, then we move forward. But it's been more than that. It's been people who are like dedicated to the notion that he is absolutely the person that they think he is, regardless of the evidence. Which,
Right.
in a true crime community, is just bizarre.
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all.
Yeah. I mean, what are you gonna do? That I can't make it make sense.
But let's be honest, though, this is the outcome that we've predicted, because you already have a situation where there's a man card bias. Men are given more of a pass for this sort of cheating behaviour than women are. It's just a fact. The whole situation that there were recordings, and lots of people immediately are suspicious of anybody who records phone calls, regardless of the reason.
Right.
And then you've got a situation where it's a person who people have feelings about, some controversial feelings, who don't feel that this person is necessarily completely honest. I don't believe Josh is completely honest either, but
right.
I always suspected that this was the way it was going to go, and I would not have put the recordings online. I really don't think there was any winning with it. But I also understand somebody being immensely hurt.
I
and
know
wanting
when
some
you
sort of
first
revert
heard all
of
that, you said that right away. It was like, this isn't, the cheerleaders are going to come out and it'll be like, they won't even care. And you called that one right off. I mean, I think there were people that cared, but mostly people didn't. They wanted to stay sort of hooked on whoever they thought he was before. They didn't want to be enlightened as to all the other things that were brought out.
I will never ever understand Bugsy. I will never understand anybody who thinks that there's a fun joke in the Holocaust. I don't care how technically clever a joke might be, what the payoff is. Sometimes there are very controversial jokes which are structured in such a way, take an unexpected twist, that you can actually laugh, even though it's a hideously controversial subject, because it's a well-crafted joke. I can't see any way that you can have a joke about the Holocaust that works that way. I just do not see it.
No.
I'm back, guys. Sorry about that.
I agree with you, Nicole. I'm not okay with the plagiarism. I don't think that. I know that it's much more of a thing in academic circles, but plagiarism, when you steal somebody's work, you steal their time, the time that they took to create that, which
The
is
research that
time
went
that they
into
give in order to have money, usually. I mean, these were magazine articles. This is people's paid work. And I'm not sure what type of other paid work people are allowed to just take wholesale and think that they've got a right to it.
right.
It's that weird entitlement. People feel entitled to whatever the hell it is that they want.
I just don't believe that reading out a magazine article and putting a bit of music behind it is transformative enough for you to believe that you haven't done something wrong.
And especially to not credit the original author.
He wasn't adding any extra commentary. He didn't. There was no personal thoughts about what this article said. It was just reading.
Being read as if it was his thoughts. That's what people were being misled into thinking that it was, and
and people liked him because they thought he was smart,
right?
Yes,
creative for coming up with all that stuff, and here it was somebody else's work.
And they don't want to let go of that because they were deeply touched by somebody's work. Instead of thinking, well, that's great that this person created this, and realizing that Josh has taken advantage of it, they still want to think of it as Josh's work.
Yeah.
I don't really understand it, but people do get very devoted.
Yeah, they do. To their idea. It's more of they're clinging to the idea, to who they thought they were, and just running with that, and turning the blinders on to everything else. And we can't change that. You can, they say you can lead a horse to water.
And that's a good point, Tangeray. Admitting he's a scumbag also means admitting that they can't trust their own judgment.
Yeah.
People
I have to say, I think all of us can say we've met people on the internet that we thought were one person, and then they turned out to be a totally different kind of person.
Right.
You've got to be careful. It's difficult.
And know when to let it go.
Especially when money is involved, because desperate times call for desperate measures, and if people are desperate for money, they're gonna do fucked up things.
Yeah.
And that really was the real scam in the Josh situation. It wasn't so much about the money that she loaned him, because she did get it back, and but all the money that people sent in thinking that he created all these things that he never created, that is the scam, in my opinion.
Yeah. And it wasn't a one-off mistake. It was a concerted, consistent
it
type
wasn't
of
just
behavior.
one piece that was stolen. It was many.
And I genuinely don't believe that just because it was paid back, that means that nothing negative happened.
Right.
It's like saying, I bumped your car, but it didn't really happen if I repaired your car. Well, no, something still happened. Just because it was put right at the end doesn't mean the thing didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah, patterns of behavior. And it's far more rampant in the community than people think. There's a lot of money grubbers out there.
It's astonishing that the minute money becomes a topic of conversation in almost any live, people will just turn up saying, oh yes, I've got a situation going on at the moment, can I drop my Cash App? Some people never miss a beat. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots going on behind the scenes too.
Yeah. It does. I think that, well, I would hope that some people have now perhaps thought twice about CM because Chris
I
Chris
definitely have.
McDonough. Yeah, I mean, some people are just too devoted to the concept of him being a great, good man
The hero.
that they can't see the fact that he is a flawed human being who cannot admit when he makes a mistake. I mean,
Right. I had
cannot.
problems with him prior to this, but I would still give him a listen for this or that interview that he did. But
Yeah,
when I saw what he put in Josh's chat, that's it. I was done.
yeah.
I was done because he told him stay the course and you know the, acting as if this is okay that he stole all those people's work. It's not okay. It's not how you.
I mean, the irony of somebody somebody
supposed
in
to be
law
law
enforcement
enforcement.
thinking that stealing is okay
Right?
because it's
That
just
was one
words.
thing. So, because it was academic theft, that made it different than like an auto theft.
Well,
I mean,
McDonough knows that if
it's
you
one of those
ignore it,
difficult things
it'll
because
go away.
anybody who comes from any sort of academic background really sees plagiarism as a big deal because it can make such a difference to your educational career if you're caught
Right.
plagiarizing anything.
You'll get kicked out of some universities for
Yeah.
that.
So, of course, when they talked about plagiarism, to me, that's a serious deal. Anybody who's had any sort of educational background, if you, even just at undergraduate level, it's a serious deal. So, of course, to me, it seemed a big deal when they said it, but for a lot of people, it didn't seem important at all, even though words are money. And
Right.
words were money to him. Somebody else's words were money to him. He was gifted money as a
Well, it's the
tip,
same
and he
reason that
grew his membership on the back of somebody else's thoughts.
it's the same reason that we can't take Taylor Swift's music and play it over here and then make money off of it. Monetized channels will get that copyright, and Taylor Swift will get all of the monetization that the advertising makes on your channel. You can't take somebody else's work and then go make money off of it, not without their permission.
Yeah, now this thing that Wee Frosty is mentioning about Chris McDonough is threatening Trisha of Web Sleuths with. He said slander, but I'm sure it would be actually technically be liable. But I don't understand what he's thinking.
He wants to
doesn't
be the
make him. He
purple of
doesn't
the
make himself
community.
look
Keep it
good.
up.
I'm sorry.
I said, if he wants to be the purple of the community, keep it up.
Yeah, he's full of hot air.
There surely cannot be a policeman alive who has not made a mistake. And yet he lives his life like he's never made a mistake. He just will
Right.
not acknowledge that he screwed up ever. Even though all he has to do is go, mistake, sorry.
Right.
It's not
I
a
made
big deal, but
mistake.
his
I
ego won't
apologize.
let him.
Right.
Yeah, he went as far as lying to make it sound like
That
all that stuff, yeah, about him being sued even in that teenager's case. I forget the name. Is it Michael something? Trisha was going over it last night.
Oh.
Michael Crow.
Yes, Michael Crow. He was saying something about it being dismissed, but then he ended up getting found guilty anyway.
Yeah, I believe it was one of the sort of add-on things that was dismissed. It wasn't the main crux of the lawsuit.
Or it was something, yeah, but he
What,
had
Jack,
Josh and Doug.
You
Huh?
mean Chris McDonough won't let us play his material without striking us?
Sounds like a challenge.
The irony is indeed rich. So Josh plagiarizing other people's stuff, absolutely fine. Anybody taking Chris's stuff, oh no, that's not going to fly.
Yeah. You don't want it happening to him, but it's okay for it to happen to
Yeah.
other people.
He is very much of that sort of type that if you're with him, then you are as flawless as he is. And if you're against him, then you're the scum of the earth.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, Trisha, I'm not a huge follower of Trisha, but she does strike me as somebody who's actually dedicated to supporting victims and actually seeing true crime as a serious genre. I mean, she's put so many years and such a huge amount of money into building that website. I certainly don't think that it's as profitable a concern as a lot of the YouTube channels are. I don't think that because it's free. It's free to be a member on there. There's no sort of financial stream in the same way. So I don't know what he thinks he's going to get out of it financially, unless he's trying to ruin her. But I don't think it'll stand up in court at all.
Right. I don't think so either.
Hey, Buttercup. Miss having you up here. I was so, when listening back to the last episode when I wasn't here, when you were talking about how you'd had it with Purple, I was just like, yeah.
I know, that was the
fantastic.
We were all cheering it on.
As somebody said, you know, if you've pushed Buttercup to the point where she's had enough, then you have really messed up. Because Buttercup is by far the nicest person. I mean, just the sweetest. But she doesn't take any bullshit either.
Yeah, that was so awesome.
I don't know her, Wee Frosty, but I gather that yes, she is meticulous about correcting mistakes. Trisha is quick to apologise and put things right. So there's always going to be a clash between Trisha and Chris McDonough because that's two opposite ends of the spectrum.
I'm gonna have to check out Trisha. I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I remember her forum from, oh my gosh, the Kaylee Anthony days.
Oh
wow.
Yeah, I used to follow that case. I still to this day cannot believe that she was found not guilty.
I couldn't either. I was yelling up to my television set when that verdict came in.
It was some days it was hard to know who I despised more, Casey Anthony or Jose Baez, because
that was the other one. Yes.
Yep.
I was trying to think of the name.
I think that was a matter of the jury misunderstanding their job.
Some people seem to have a difficult idea with reasonable doubt. It doesn't mean no doubts. It means, is it reasonable to not doubt the situation? It's just. Also, I think that
the stand your ground law, when you go and pursue somebody that you had no business pursuing, you had no business with that boy.
Yeah.
But he pursued him and confronted him and ultimately killed him. But it was like, stand your ground. Now, if somebody comes up at you and scares you, yeah, you're probably going to get punched.
The Casey Anthony case was like one of those moments where somebody that you ardently disagree with online says something that you absolutely agree with, and you're just like, for God's sake, now you've made me agree with them. This is disgusting. When her father was giving evidence and the way that she'd attacked his character as an abuser, a man that I'd come to not stand because of just the way that they seemed to stand behind her over the most ridiculous lies. She was quite happy to take him apart for her own security and her own protection. He seemed a broken person, and it just seemed inhuman. I found myself feeling really sorry for him, even though up until that moment I'd absolutely ardently despised him. It's just weird.
It was a really, really kind of a bizarre thing with the parents in that situation. I guess
But
it's
the
so.
mother hasn't changed. If you've seen any of programs about it since, where they're interviewed, she's an impossible woman.
Is she?
Her denial is so deep.
But she was the one, like,
She was the one who said
in
it
the
smells like
beginning,
something has died in the car.
right? And she knew like something wasn't right.
Yeah.
That her granddaughter, she hadn't seen her granddaughter, and something was off. And she was the one that said, "Show me her now," and then that couldn't happen. And then she went into this whole denial thing, and then come to her senses now and again. But didn't they try to throw her under the bus too, saying that some of the computer searches were done by
Yeah, she lied for her.
Yeah. The whole chlorophyll thing.
Yeah, that was me
Yeah.
searching to see if chlorophyll's poisonous to dogs because they eat grass. Really?
Right.
If my kid killed my grandkid, I'd be the first one to be smacking him around.
I can't relate to it at all. It's just like there's some sort of switch in her mind where they think, well, the granddaughter's gone, I'm not losing the daughter as well. I mean, this is always something I was suspected about the Ramseys with Jean Bonnet. I
Yeah.
always consider that somebody in the family accidentally killed her and
Yeah.
everybody else is covering up because it's like, well, we can't bring her back. We're not going to break the family up even more. I don't understand that mentality, but I do believe it happens. I do believe that there are some people who just go into protection mode. Just like the
At all
worst has
costs.
happened. Yeah.
At all costs, and that's it doesn't make sense because I don't think they ever got and they ever will get the daughter they once had back after all that happened, allegedly.
Oh my God, Wee Frosty sees Chris McDonough as the YouTube version of the Sun. That is some harsh talking. If you knew how the Sun is regarded in this country as like the lowest of the low rag.
Yeah,
There's an area in England that boycotted the Sun 30 years ago after what it wrote about their football fans, some of whom died in a tragic circumstance. And still, over 30 years later, you cannot buy a copy of the Sun in most of the shops there because there's still a huge boycott of it. It's considered that bad. Sun Reader is an actual well-used insult over here, so to call him the Sun is harsh. I mean, probably even worse than the National Enquirer, because I believe that National Enquirer has actually broken some good stories. Even though it's a rag, it's a few of the stories it's broken have actually turned out to be true. I'm not sure I would say that about the Sun.
Weren't they sued by the royal family?
Harsh reality, yeah. I don't much care for him. Sorry, what was that about the royal family?
Wasn't the Sun sued by the royal family, or they tried?
Yes, and I believe that Duchess of Sussex Meghan has won cases against the Mail, which is pretty much
That's
unheard
what I'm
of.
thinking about the Mail.
They have got so much money behind them, and the top level lawyers. People have tried to take them to court and failed miserably. I believe the only people who succeeded in really making a legal case against tabloids are Elton John, who managed to make quite a fortune out of the Sun when their homophobia during the AIDS crisis, particularly with reference to him. He sued them, he won, and that's the money that he originally built his AIDS charity on. And Meghan has won against the Mail twice, which is no wonder they're biting the carpet with fury about the woman, because they're not used to losing.
Right.
But they absolutely despise her. The way that some of the tabloid press talks about her is just unspeakable. I mean, I'm
They
not
were
even that
horrible.
fond of the woman. You know, I don't feel strongly about her either way. You know, she's an actress who married into the royal family. She doesn't really affect anything that I do or think of. But to see that the way that she's torn apart by people is just disgusting. Do people in England suspect Diana was killed or an accident? If you don't want to answer, I apologise. I'm not offended by that at all. A lot of people believe that there was some sort of conspiracy that created the crash. I actually see conspiracy afterwards. I don't believe that she was taken out by the royal family or officialdom in any way. I believe it was an accident. They were chased by the paparazzi. They weren't wearing seatbelts. The guy was going too fast. He'd had a drink. You know, look, an absolutely sort of disastrous set of circumstances all rolled up into one. But I believe it was an accident. I tend to believe that they let her die. I don't think that they rushed themselves to get her to any sort of
Right. Didn't they
treatment.
sit there in the ambulance for an hour?
They said that they were stabilising her at the scene. I don't know. I suspect that it was. They didn't. I don't believe they set out to kill her, but I think they took advantage of the situation and allowed her to pass on because she was then not a problem. I think it was a case of conveniently looking the other way.
Mm.
Yes, they do use Meghan as a cheap shot, just as they did with Diana, and I think it must be absolutely tearing Harry apart because he was so young when his mother was killed. He saw the way that she was dragged by the press. Whether you believe that the press influenced the crash or not, they were there photographing her even in her dying moments. I mean, the woman had no life.
Right.
I can't imagine what sort of. I mean, I know that in war and situations, people who were documenting the most awful situations have to override their feelings and take the photographs. But these are people who just earned money from the worst sort of photographs. They chased her down. The car was crashed and they just stood around taking photographs. I can't imagine what that does to your soul, you know, if
Gross.
you've got one.
Well, look at the first responders when Kobe's helicopter crashed. And
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
photos
His
and
family
around. You know?
found out from TMZ breaking the story.
Yeah.
She his wife just won her lawsuit.
Yes, first response, at least one first responder took photographs of the burnt bodies. And one of them was a young girl. You just think, do you not have any daughters or sisters or?
Well, it wasn't just one. There was a couple of young girls that.
Oh
were
yes,
on
of course, because there was the friend as well, wasn't there?
Basketball game. Yeah, it was a kid's game. It was the game for his daughter was a tournament she was playing in. So
she was very gifted, wasn't she? Apparently, I don't know much about her, but I've heard it said that she was very gifted.
Yeah, apparently.
Oh, Purpose just announced that she's still here. Okay.
Oh.
It's not a huge shock. I think everybody suspected. But as somebody pointed out earlier, she's fucked her AdSense, so it doesn't really matter whether she's staying. What she's here for is the financial element, and she could have substantially damaged that forever. So, you know, dance around while you can.
Yeah, I think she alienated a lot of subscribers too.
I think she alienated a lot of subscribers with the whole revealing the past of unfortunate past of some children. I don't care whether they're adults now or not. It doesn't matter.
What kind of people want to be seen in that chat?
Right. That's what always gets me.
I don't understand it. I don't understand what crosses a woman's mind to think that it's a game scoring element to reveal that about other women. It doesn't matter that you don't know them. That's neither here nor there.
Right.
I don't care how you feel about their mother. What about these individual women who have had this awful trauma in their youth and who may or may not have recovered sufficiently to have a good life? and you're just willing to use it as a point scoring exercise. I think that's something really, really deeply sick about you, that you would do that.
Right. Or would she want that done to her children years from now and have revealed things about their childhood?
It's
Yeah, I
gonna
mean,
get to that
God
point.
forbid anything would happen to them. I wish them nothing but the best, and I hope that they never have any traumatic experiences like that in their life. But
Well, Perp already
she has
came out
daughters.
and said, she went out and so worried that somebody was going to tell her past secrets, and she went out and blurted it all out.
And she's gonna piss off the
And I'm
wrong
not talking
person.
about the her selling the cigarettes, but it was somebody else that was involved in her life. I don't really want to get into it because she did it. I'm not going to. But again, her kids are going to grow up, have kids of their own. Just stop doing stuff like that.
What gets me is that what little ambiguity there was in what the situation might have been was completely given away when she chose to show that message to camera.
Yep.
And she blocked out the details that affected her and left an allegation right there in print that was so clear that the chat was in uproar and she had to restart the show in a new live.
There was no reason to put that up, and
Absolutely no reason.
Except for utter disgusting.
For shock value. She wanted people to be shocked and disgusted
And to
at the
humiliate her.
expense of other human
They
beings.
continue to mention it daily
Yes.
since. Tony
The
keeps
same
talking
woman who
about
flips her
it,
shit
Purple
about a
keeps
forehead.
talking about it, and yeah, she's upset about her daughter's forehead.
No, watch. She's gonna piss off the wrong person one of these days, and
That
they're gonna do
photo that
something
she is complaining
100
about,
times worse.
I just want to put out there, that photo, I've seen it, was taken in, I believe, 2015, and it is not an infant little boy. Matter of fact, the daughter was tagged in that photo. So quit buying. Purple goes on and on about how Tabby lies. But Purple has been caught in so many lies, and she just thinks, well, that's okay.
Well, she doesn't seem to have a problem putting other people's children online.
And it was her daughter's forehead.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. She does all this crazy stuff, and it's only a matter of time before somebody who's
was it
really
like,
bad goes after her.
Wasn't it like I think it was like Esderk, maybe, that was.
I think it was because was it their grandchild?
Yeah, in the Discord thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I heard her say just the other day that she'd never shown a child, and I just thought, I'm sure you have.
Yeah, and then it was like a big thing, and then she did it a second time.
It wasn't even in a public place. This was in a paid members only Discord that somebody gained access to, took a video and sent her, and she put it out. So like nobody can even argue, well, you had it on your public Facebook page. No.
It wasn't. No.
It was not.
And then didn't she take it down just because her phone call was over the top? So like her privacy matters, but everybody else's can go to hell.
But that child didn't.
She was asked to remove it, and she refused.
Yeah, she's just a hypocrite.
Crying about her daughter's forehead.
Yeah, well, just wait. Somebody's going to show up where her daughter works, and just watch. It's going to happen.
They're going to recognize her by that forehead. I know saw you on the poop channel. I'd recognize that little corner of your forehead anywhere.
I
She
recognize
really-
her by her voice.
Oh yeah, she really hates that poop channel, doesn't she?
Does. But that's okay. Doesn't bother her. Thanks for the free advertising.
Yeah, right.
Being infamous is not the same as being famous. Just
Right?
saying.
2 successful channels.
In her YouTube career.
I believe that we
Let's call
already
it
have.
that, a YouTube career.
I believe we already have more subscribers on this channel than she has on the second channel.
In 6 weeks. It
Yeah.
took her over a year to grow that. And the only reason why she got to 1,000 was because Ziggy threw her a bone and sent Andrew Hilt.
Oh
over there.
yes, yeah, Pandrew. I'd forgotten about him.
She was
He went
stuck at
up,
like
didn't he?
400. She couldn't even get to 500 subs.
Well, to be fair, Andrew Hiltz is kind of that's kind of like that's par for her panel.
Yeah.
That isn't Ziggy material. That's purple material there.
Same
just
class. Yep. The gross people who sit and chain smoke on YouTube all day.
Yeah, when people talk about teenagers messing with drugs and being addicted to the internet, I always think, well, you should meet their grandmothers. They're the ones who were really addicted to drugs and the internet.
And they fight. They fight and they cry. And they say, I'm more disabled than you, damn it.
Oh. Yep. Heidi's just not going to understand that it's not about whether she's ill or not. It's about her other behavior. That's why people doubt what she says to be the truth. Not because they think she's a hypochondriac. They just think she's a straight up liar.
She's full of shit.
It just happens to be her health that they think she's lying about at the moment, as opposed to everything else. She was so proud about taking screenshots and causing trouble.
Right?
Yeah, didn't a judge rule that she's not disabled?
I'd heard that, but I don't know the details. I believe that the judgment is online somewhere, and I know that I've heard that she's again sort of appealing, so she obviously didn't win last time.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I don't
Eileen,
know. She
I
seems
saw
able to
something
travel. She seems able to travel when she wants to,
uh-huh. Yeah,
which
and
for
walk
many
to the garage.
disabled people is not a possibility.
We have no idea, Eileen. No clue, but I called it. Every time he gets ousted, I said he'll be back, and he's back.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up with that abuse? Why?
Yeah,
Why?
and they'll welcome him back
What's
because
talking to him like that.
they
and
exploit
he
him.
goes back. Frank, get some friends. Some
Yes,
real
Sue,
friends.
absolutely spot on. Couldn't
Yeah,
agree with you more.
nobody bullies her about her illnesses. It's
It's
Yeah,
about
we
the
Frosty.
behavior.
We
It is
Frosty makes a good
absolutely-
point. It's common for disability claims to be denied. That is very true. It is, but I
Oh, but
believe that the
This was
judge's
not the first
narrative,
denial.
the judge's
Yeah.
narrative comments were quite extreme. It wasn't just sort of claim denied. It was sort of he fundamentally didn't believe her.
the judge believes she exaggerated. Hello, have you seen her on YouTube?
Well, that's what kills me is because she's got this big case pending, and this is how she's been behaving on YouTube. They find out all the energy she has and all the amount of hours that she has spent on YouTube and all the effort she's put into screenshotting and everything. Surely there's a job out there for her somewhere.
I'd like to say, on the off chance that you're listening, Heidi, I'm sure that this gets back to you one way or another. I wish you nothing but the best with your tests. I hope that everything is good. I hope that if they find a problem, that they treat it quickly and successfully. wish you nothing but good health. There's nobody on this earth that I wish bad health, even wicked people, because once you've lived with any sort of long-term acute or chronic illness, you just know that it can be misery. I do
Yes.
find it weird that you almost seem to want a really terrible diagnosis to make people pay. I can't imagine wanting something terrible to happen to me in order to be able to say, "See, I told you." I would much rather you believed I was a liar than than to come back with a cancer diagnosis. I just find that peculiar. I don't know. Perhaps it's because you feel so cornered and in some twisted way you feel that's a vindication. But really,
Not, you don't win that
don't
way.
wish ill health on yourself ever.
Right. Absolutely not. I wish the best for her as well. Go be amazing at something. If you want attention, go be amazing at something and seek attention at that. But coming up and talking about all your illnesses in the true crime community isn't working out real well for you, hun.
And it's a fundamental of dealing with chronic pain, fundamental to any sort of treatment that you have when you've got a chronic pain issue, is not to focus on it. You're encouraged to find ways of living with it and
Right.
not making it the center of your universe, because focusing on chronic pain makes chronic pain worse. You don't, it's like if you've got any sort of pain, you know yourself, if you've got a toothache or if you hurt yourself, if you focus on that pain, it feels substantially worse than if you can distract yourself. Even it's why we rub a bump, because what we're doing is confusing the nerve endings by involving a larger area. Psychologically, if you're dealing with chronic pain, you have to do that. Distraction as a way of coping. Techniques, because you can't always rely on painkillers to do the job. Yeah, chronic pain is something that will be with you for life if you've got certain illnesses or ailments. You have to find a way to carry it.
See,
It's not going anywhere.
I've got osteoarthritis, so every morning when I get out of bed, it feels like my ankles are made of glass. Like they're just gonna crumble. It hurts so bad to take those
40
first
boom.
steps. But I've learned that getting those steps done and over with, the pain gets better. It doesn't hurt so
Yeah.
bad. I don't have to rely on pain medication to get through, because the more I use it, the better I feel. Now, if I sit too long, I'm going to be in the same boat again. So I got to get up and move. That's what works for me.
Yeah.
I'm certainly not trying to compare that to anything that she may be going through. But I'm just
But
talking
it's
about
absolutely
finding
true, though.
ways of
Sometimes you
coping.
have to push through. You just have to, because otherwise your life is not going to be worth living. And life is worth living. No
Right.
matter how ill or depressed you feel, a better day will come.
Right.
It may be swings and roundabouts that it's one good day in 4, but that good day
Right.
is worth
I'm
it.
not going to stay in bed to avoid the pain
Yeah.
that those first steps are going to take, because it's still going to be waiting for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to.
And
I
if
don't
you
want to
don't
be
move, you're
stuck
still
in
going
my
to be in
bed.
pain.
Yes, exactly.
Hi, ladies. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I know you came up
Hi.
special to tell us
How
something.
beautiful. Are you okay?
Yeah, as you know, I haven't been up today because I'm not well, so I didn't want to be on the panel today.
You don't
But
sound well, darling.
It's okay. Are you wearing a
no,
mask?
no, of course not. I'm in the office, locked in. But I've just come over from Bitch Perp's channel. I was lurking, and she opens up with this: the jerks are butt hurt. Because we don't like their behaviour. She came out slinging, with our name in her mouth. And Tony made a little comment in there calling us bitches, and so they're a bit feisty. So I needed to come up and just tell them to shut the F up.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, of course, Tony's called me a bitch because I called her out on her lies. Don't
Of
be a
course she
liar,
did.
and I won't be a bitch.
Wait, what are we butthurt over?
I think, I think she went on the spill then about how, how they were showing photos of Tabby, and there was another person, and how we were like, you shouldn't be showing photos of people.
We haven't even played that yet.
No, I don't recall talking about that. Are you guys talking about that or hearing that? But, they tend to make these stories up, or these make-believe stories, the way Heidi does on that channel. And they tend to then, make their lies up and then build their stories up from the lies. So maybe they should get their shit together, like I said in the last live, and maybe, say real and honest things, and then make their stories out of that, not, build it from bullshit. So that's why I wanted to come up and make a comment, because, they've only just started, so who knows what else they're going to say about us. But, I don't really give a shit. But I just wanted to come on and just, make a comment.
I can say with my hand on my heart, I genuinely do not care what you say, Perp. Not about me. I am concerned about some of the things that you do to other people, but you can rip me apart. Give it your best shot. I could not give a shit.
And if you're going to talk about us,
I actually mean it.
Yeah, and if you're going to talk about us, make it truth and don't build it off of bullshit or a bullshit story. We're not butthurt. We don't give a shit what she does. And we'll always comment like we see it and we hear it. That's how we are. If you don't like the truth, well, then piss off already. Sorry. Not sorry.
Honestly, if you can make Buttercup feel like this, then you really need to examine your behaviour, because this is someone who will not go in judgmental on you. Just
no, I don't judge anyone. And me feeling like this, I wanted to keep off the panel, but like, what is wrong with these people? And they're talking about don't talk negative, or we should not have this going on. And they're the number one people that do that. They're the number one channel that does it. Like, if you don't want to hear it, well then don't start and don't talk about it, because we'll just shoot back at you the way you just said, Pearl. Tony, if you didn't like it, well then why were you over here listening to it?
Yeah,
all Tony had to do was play my voice, which you could get off this channel, compare it to that other voice, nothing alike, not even the same continent. I would never troll somebody over a dead child. I just wouldn't.
No.
I can't imagine anybody going that low. It's just
none of us would. No, that's not the type of women we are. Yet we're going to give it, and we're going to be honest and everything like that, but we'll never stoop to that level. Never.
I mean, I'll troll you over a poop spoon, but not a dead child. There's just no way. Anybody who has lost anyone that they love, it doesn't have to be a child. Anyone who's lost anybody that they love understands the pain of that sort of grief. And you would never want to see a photograph of the person that you love who has passed be used as a trolling tactic. It's just, I can't understand the mentality of a person who would do that, and I would understand that it would hurt terrifically and be something that you couldn't just let go of. You can't randomly accuse people of doing that when it's something that you find so terrible, and yet you quite happily accuse somebody of it. Just don't.
Well, look at the kind of people that they attract. It's all of their same kind, and they're the butthurt ones. Perp keeps saying about her successful channels. It took you over a year to get to 2,000, honey. That's not successful.
Not at all. And she's going to say we're not. Well, we don't care about that. That's why we're not going to monetize. We don't give two shits
We've
about
been
all
here
that.
6 weeks and are halfway to hers already.
Exactly.
Come on.
So, exactly. So, I just wanted to get on and talk to you.
I don't think she can understand that we're just doing this for the hell of enjoying it. That
We
we're
don't
not.
need money to feed our kids because we have
Definitely
jobs.
not.
We
all
can
work.
come. We can
definitely
afford to
do.
come on YouTube for the fun of it.
That's right.
My kids ate today,
Okay.
and they're going to eat tomorrow, regardless of their YouTube channel.
And I can genuinely say that when I click the off button on my laptop later, much as I find you amusing and interesting to talk about, I won't give you a second thought.
No,
and
I
you
don't think
really
none of
need
us
to
do.
try and do that with Tabby or whoever the hell it is you're fighting with this week, because you had so many channels that you've had a ruckus with. I mean, you were with Six Up and then you fell out with Six Up. You've fallen out with Frosty. You're in and out of are you friends or not with Frank. Susan is a constant topic of conversation for you. Just so many that you can't let go. Get to a situation where when you turn your phone off or your laptop or whatever, when you go offline, that it is not consuming your life, because it's not healthy. It's just mentally not healthy. I can't imagine the stress that you're putting yourself through when you have any sort of chronic illness. I'm talking about diabetes in this situation. Why would you stress yourself when you already know that significantly affects blood pressure and a whole load of things? Why would you bring stress into your life when you're already dealing with an everyday illness? I don't understand it. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them. I mean, this situation between you and Susan and you and Tabby, it's just like the Bermuda Triangle of pointless hate that you're all lost in.
It's unnecessary. Exactly. It's all unnecessary, especially with what's going on in this world.
You were never going to be in a situation.
Okay, my lovely ladies, I'm going down.
Yeah, you don't sound well at all, darling. Take care of yourself. And
no, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll catch you with the
Bye, my
typing
lovelies.
rather
Bye,
than
everybody.
speaking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye, babe. I don't understand what she thinks she's going to get to any situation of conclusion with Tabby and with Susan, because you're talking about three people here who are all of sufficient age that they are not going to change. Perp is not going to overnight suddenly decide to be the sort of person where nothing bothers her. Susan is seriously mentally ill, and anybody who says that she isn't is deluded. Yes, she brings a lot of problems on herself, but that is fundamentally because there's something seriously wrong. Tabby has been through some awful situations and also brings awful situations on herself. There is no changing these three people. The best thing that they could do is not associate with each other and go off and live their lives. But if you're going to continue to create a shit show, we're going to continue to critique it.
Yes, ma'am. And like I said, our kids are fed regardless. We don't need YouTube for money.
Queen OG, I would never have guessed that you were living with a chronic pain situation, because as you say that you get up and you do you do the stuff, and I think that is the only way to manage it. I have a serious disability. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I will say I force myself to do a couple of things that are fundamentally difficult for me to do, which involves changing my whole bedding, going through the ritual of getting in and out the bath, doing my hair, doing my nails. I do that regardless of how shit I feel, because I know when I get to the other side, even if I'm aching, I will feel clean and beautiful, to the extent that I ever feel beautiful. But I will feel so much better for doing it. And the idea that of just deciding not to do it has no benefit whatsoever. Like you say, you get up and do it because you will feel better. You can't give in to not doing stuff because it's a downhill slope. The less you do, the less you can do. And I don't mean that to sound harsh. It's just reality.
Yep.
I sound like a bitch now. I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
No, it is. It's absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's like the whole thing of the less you do, the less time you seem to have. Just people who don't have busy lives, who can't get anything done. And yet there are people who have got careers, busy homes, do all sorts of things, have hobbies, and still manage to do extra jobs. It's just phenomenal how some busy people could take on another thing and still make it work. Just amazing.
Yeah. Oh, now she has this thing she's whining about her cervical spine and her shoulder. Get off your chair. Stop reaching for the mouse. Get a job. Perp.
Oh my God, somebody's just said in the chat, we could be Lovely 15. Don't mention Lovely 15. I don't fully understand what the problem is.
I have no idea who the hell that even is.
But they talk about it like, it's the Unabomber, and I
Right.
just...
Did they assassinate JFK?
Part of me wants to know what Lovely 15 did that was so bad, and the rest of me definitely does not want to know because I just don't want to go there.
Yes, we Frosty, we shared her link. Yeah, I'll never understand either. The conspiracy is hilarious, though.
And then I
Because it
believe that there's some
consumes 'em.
situation where Lovely 15 is associated with Harper, and I don't really understand who Harper is. But these people are sort of seen as, I don't know, sort of the equivalent of, when the Soviets kill people with a pellet in an umbrella, shoved in somebody's leg as they pass them on a bridge. It's like Lovely 15 and Harper are the online equivalent of they're everywhere and they will get you. And I just don't understand what the commotion is. Oh, Queen OG says I'll email you guys the full story. I await.
Yes.
Please make sure I get a copy of that. I would at least like to know. Oh yeah, I know Lovely 15 is the one who made the troll account. Which is, again, I agree, is bad enough on its own. It's despicable behaviour. Soup, I'm going to go for you. I can't even do a South African accent. The only way I can do a South African accent is to sing a particularly offensive song that was on a comedy show, and I don't want to go there. But the title of the song was "I've Never Met a Nice South African." It was during apartheid. Lovely is apparently English, so it could be any accent of about 17.
Lovely is from Alabama. Oh my God.
Well, surely the giveaway would be them saying something like, "Damn bitch."
Break my door, you dumb bitch.
Oh, he's back out soon, isn't he?
Yeah, this month. Well,
will he come
October.
online or will he manage to be quiet? I mean, I'm absolutely astonished that Candace hasn't been up to some sort of trickery.
I know her handlers have her on a tight leash.
Yeah, they've really got her on lockdown. It's a shame they didn't start earlier.
Yeah, I don't think Dawn is easily controlled.
No,
As Candace,
Don's a whole different thing.
Yeah, no, he'll be back. I think so, anyway. But anywho, I gotta end, guys. It's almost 10 o'clock, and
it's 5 to 3 here. I really enjoyed just rattling on, but yes.
Yeah, kids have school tomorrow.
Oh my God!
So
Somebody's mentioned Hashimoto's disease in the chat. That's it.
Hashimoto's.
We're doomed. I gather it is quite common in America, though.
It is extremely common. If most people, if you have a thyroid condition, well, women anyway, it's Hashimoto's. Yep. Ridiculously common.
I mean, I believe that thyroid issues are also sort of fairly common over here, but I do know that it's a higher level in America because of atmospheric sort of
Yep.
situation with is it radon?
Radon, gas, food intolerances, so many different triggers for it. But the East Coast seems to have more, and they associate that with the higher levels of radon gas.
Yeah, well, apparently just off the top of it, there's like 3 or 4 people in the chat who've got Hashimoto's.
Yeah, I've had Hashimoto's since I was 17.
And do you find it sort of relatively easy to control, or is it difficult?
Well, when you know what you have, it's easy to control. I only found out in my 30s. I
Oh,
went
right.
most of my adult life thinking that I had mild bipolar because in the beginning your thyroid is too fast and you have sort of manic like symptoms. You don't sleep for days and days, you just go. And then when it finally crashes, you're very lethargic, dry skin, depressed, and you don't notice the little things like your eyelashes falling out, your hair shedding, the dry skin. You just associate it with other things, and a lot of the testing isn't very accurate. You need very specific tests for, you can have a standard thyroid test on and it'll come back completely normal, but you could be hypo or hyper. It's we'll be here another 8 hours, but yeah, once you know what you're dealing with, it's fairly easy.
The big news will come tomorrow. The big news about what? Is this Purple's channel?
Ooh, what big news?
Jen Hoffer. Hey, Lindsay, good to see you. It's a shame that you're arriving just as we're grinding to a halt. Never mind, there's always the replay.
Yes, knowing the issue is half the battle.
Yeah, that's actually true of every health issue, isn't it? Whether it's mental or physical. But getting a diagnosis is not always the easiest thing.
Oh, Heidi's
hi.
appointment.
Yeah.
To the
Oh, I'm sure we'll
hematologist.
hear all about it regardless of what happens.
Be like, ma'am, you need to get out of bed and get a shower and drink more water.
Yeah, I think most of us need to drink more water and possibly fewer energy drinks, Tabby. I gather that that's your
And no
drink of
ramen.
choice. That's not a great thing. I mean, I know lots of people enjoy the odd one. I know my son sort of was quite keen on them while he was doing exams, but it's not a regular thing. I can't imagine. I mean, they've got huge amounts of caffeine in, haven't they? It's got to be a diuretic. I've never had one, so I couldn't tell you.
I haven't drinking any either. We frosty. All right, I gotta get moving here, guys. So
yes, it's been lovely to talk to you.
I know,
I'm sorry
it's
I've
been
just
so nice
chatted away like a mad thing.
to have you on. Yes, since you're free tomorrow, if you want to go live again tomorrow, we absolutely can.
I would. Yes, I'm quite happy to go again tomorrow, but obviously, it will not be as late because my poor insomniac will be back. It's awful. Do you know what I mean? I've been insomnia for years and have sort of learnt to work around it. But for somebody who's always slept well, to suddenly reach an age where they're having trouble sleeping, it really messes them up, sort of how they feel about things. I hope it passes, but I don't know what it is. I think it's just people sleep less when they're older. I don't know. But he's convinced that the slightest sound is definitely what the issue is. Oh dear. Anyway.
All right. Well, good night, ladies and jerks. Thank you for joining us.
Yep, I'll see you out on the internet streets. Be good. And if you can't be
Or
good,
don't.
be careful.
All right. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Yeah, I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke, yeah, yeah. And I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with no broke, yeah. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl, go ahead, get down. Get down, girl.